Hello and welcome to another Battleground Games Live! Hi everybody, I'm Andrew and welcome to an especially special Battleground Games Live. For a long time, we have been planning this D&D adventure set in the world of Ravnica. And finally, after, months of planning, we're finally getting a chance to actually do this thing. So welcome, I'm so glad you folks could join us. As I said, I'm Andrew, and for those not familiar with it, Battleground Games and Hobbies is a friendly local game store in the greater Boston area with 3 locations, one down in Norton, one up on Route 1 in Saugus, and this convenient location in Abington, which has a loft that we often stream from. Usually we're streaming on Friday nights, Fridays at 7:30 Eastern. We play various board games on stream. And we do various painting streams. My wife paints on stream very frequently. And I have been doing a 40K painting stream, planning to play some Kill Team with my 40K figures soon. But today is all D&D. Welcome! And I do want to say quickly a couple of things. One, we have chat up now. So if anybody wants to say hello in chat, we can see you. We'll say hi. We do have a chat mod who is not Amanda today. Normally it's my wife Amanda playing chat mod. Today we have Ken, who is I Might Be Groot in the chat. So if you have any questions for the chat mod, he is the fellow who is helping to keep things polite and friendly. And on tech today, we have our streaming regular friend John. So thank you very much, John, for coming in to run tech. He is effectively the director of this episode, so he's going to be handling the cameras and telling us if our mics die or anything exciting like that. In the meantime, why don't we go around the table and we'll introduce everybody so that you can say who you are, how long you've been playing D&D, and what character you're bringing to us today.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I've been playing D&D technically for a very long time because I've loved D&D since I was a kid, to the point where I bought one of the old red boxes of D&D stuff, and I still have my very first D20. So I didn't really get to actually play D&D. I mostly just liked reading about it. I started actually playing with other people late in life. So I'm really excited to get a chance to do this. I am going to be playing Avonin, the Golgari Devkaran elf monk, who's fascinated by the cycle of life and death. Very interested in going out and finding out more about it.
Hi, I'm Amy. I write under the name Elton Patridge. I have not played D&D since the 1990s, so I'm happy to be here. And I enjoyed D&D and White Wolf very much in the before times, and but my friends and I have never been able to get together a game with one thing and another, so I'm very pleased to be here. My character is an Azet Vidalkin, a scientist named Harmatu Ie, and they are a very driven and inventive person. So I'm looking forward to exploring this new world.
I'm Andrew. I have been playing D&D, I think, for about 15 years now. So something like that, at least. And I do a lot of streaming on Twitch under 10 Rabid Bears. I do a lot of podcasting. Heroes Play is the big one that I've done there. But today, I'm happy to be back on the Battleground stream and doing playing Gardon, the Life Cleric Minotaur of the Selesnian I can't say it.
Selesnian Conclave.
Thank you, Selesny. I still can't say it. Well, you got it now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
We should mention, while we're on the subject of Andrew playing D&D, he is one of the folks who runs the Battleground Arena.
Yes.
So if you're familiar with our subscriber message that you get when you share a subscription, that is the other of the, one of the 3 people who primarily runs the arena.
Yeah, it's expanded by 1.
But if you've heard that, now entering the Battleground Arena, that is an arena thing.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Andrew is part of that.
I
Absolutely.
can't hear that without wanting to say huzzah.
I want to say that every time. Every time.
There's much rejoicing.
Yeah.
Huzzah's the best.
Oh, it's my turn. Am I looking at that one?
Yes.
Cool. Hi, I'm Jules, also Insidious Pie. So you may have seen me getting into bit fights with Lobster of Revenge if you've ever watched our streams before. Lobster, you can have it all to yourself today. I'm playing, so it's all yours. Take the crown. I some of the time stream on Twitch, a lot of times playing games. Last night, if you were a weirdo and stayed up till 3 a.m. Eastern, you watched me bake these cupcakes that we're having as a celebration of 200 followers. Right. But today, I bring you Cassia Vinemane, the Centaur Druid, who is on the Selesnian equivalent of Rumspringa, where she's going on an adventure to see what she can do, and the Selesnians are hoping she'll come back, but at least just happy to have her out of their hair for a while, because she keeps adopting stray puppies, shark crabs, bug dogs, whatever, various things, and getting into shenanigans. So she and Gardon are on this adventure together. He's babysitting? Supervising?
Kind of.
Unclear.
Yeah.
Whatever. Mostly being confused at what she gets into.
Yeah.
My name is Sarah, and I've been playing D&D since, on and off since high school, so, like, I learned AD&D rules once. Once. So, so I've been playing D&D for a while. I'm excited to play with everybody here. I've never played on a stream before, so, performance anxiety, but it's cool. It's fine.
You got this.
It's fine.
You've been
It's
on
totally
the
fine.
stream before.
We played, like, Highlander on stream.
We
And flip
played-
ships.
We played flip ships.
And flip ships, yes. Board games are totally different beasts, though.
That's true.
I am playing Morgana Belshimmer. She's a Simic sorcerer. Let's see how this goes.
Yee. This is going to be great. So, we are going to turn chat off at this stage, so we are not going to be able to see anything that you say in chat. Do talk amongst yourselves, have a wonderful time, and
Bye,
we
chat.
will catch up with you during the break in about an hour and a half. So bye, chat, and
Toodles.
John is going to... Yep.
Hold it down.
Gotta mean it.
Yeah.
Bye, chat.
Goodbye.
And
For real this time.
It made
let's
its little
start
divine
our
voice.
adventure in Ravnica.
Here we go.
Yay, magic.
It's happening.
I think he's simple, scrambled.
A quick word about Ravnica. The vast city of Ravnica has no beginning and no end. To many peoples living within it, there is no other world, no other city, only Ravnica. Here, in the heart of the metropolis, the 10th district, most of the governing bodies abide. Here is where you'll find the guild halls of the 10 guilds that vie constantly to dominate life and bring their vision of how it should be lived. Not everybody is part of these machinations, however. Some people are simply trying to get their lives on the streets of Ravnica, avoiding the big conflicts and simply trying to make ends meet. Such is the situation for the residents in the cellar of the 221st warehouse on Confectioner's Row in the Midori Park region of Precinct 6. The residents of this cramped space eke out an existence on the edge of poverty in a tenement of questionable legality. Only last week, they were approached by the pinched-faced ancient vampire who rents them this space because they have been unable to pay their rent, the full rent for Dazo, and Praji is only a week away. So, about a week ago, the vampire who rents you this space came to the door and spoke to you in the sort of ancient dialect he uses, because he's been around forever. This is a fellow who calls himself Brother Snell, and he goes to, "Yous Utes today got no respect for the church." You needs to get me that rent.
Okay.
Sadly, you guys are on your last zibs. You really haven't been able to make ends meet, and you can explain to us why. It's been about a week since then, and as we come into the adventure, it is breakfast time. Why don't you guys each tell me what it is that you're doing during breakfast time in the cellar of the 221st warehouse on Confectioner's Row?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So this is just to clarify. Zibs,
Yep.
because normally in D&D you've got like gold pieces, copper pieces,
Yes.
silver pieces. Roughly equivalent to a copper
Roughly
piece?
equivalent to a copper piece, yes. And
I'm gonna note that.
Xenos are roughly equivalent to a gold piece, about 100 zibs.
Cool.
So, yes, zib is a very small currency indeed. So, what is it that you folks are doing on this sort of average morning?
I feel like Gardon's getting ready for this weird day. It's always a weird day. Eating scrambled eggs and I'm just gonna say bread with some cheese.
Okay.
Keep it real simple, you know.
Can you tell me what kind of eggs he's eating?
Oh, they're definitely scrambled. It's so like
Well,
he can't handle.
What
kind of
where
cheese
did
he
those
kind of
come from?
Produced
Oh,
the eggs.
that's a good question.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, let me think on that.
Garden, where'd you get those eggs?
Gardon, don't share.
So, Cassia?
I am probably tending to Nibbles, my tiny bug dog.
So, how is it that you have a tiny bug dog?
So I have a tiny bug dog. His name is Nibbles. I was out one day doing whatever I was doing. Who knows? And I felt something nibbling on my ankle, or really more gumming on it and slobbering. And I found this tiny bug dog, and his mandibles were all soft, and he couldn't chew. And I felt so bad for him because he was malnourished because he couldn't eat. So I pulled him out of the undergrowth, and I took him home, and I've been taking care of him. And now he's getting better. He can actually eat real food and not just goo. Look at him, he's so cute.
Why are you knocking goo?
Goo is fine. Goo is fine, but he needs more sustenance than goo.
Alright.
It's the natural cycle of bug dog food? I don't know.
What's his name?
Nibbles.
Nibbles.
Nibbles the bug dog.
Because he nibbled.
He nibbles on
So, do you feel lonely because you only have one pet? Because I understand when you were living in the Celestia Enclave, you had a vast menagerie.
Yes, I did feel lonely when I only had Nibbles, but now I have friends.
Yes, friends are always good.
Friends still count. You are all my wards now. All of you.
Morgana.
I don't eat food normally. I don't have time for food, so I'm making a quick breakfast shake, and then I'm going to go back into the lab because I am working on magic right now, and I don't have time for any of you.
And Harmatu.
Hamatu is eating dried salt fish. Now, generally what you're supposed to do with dried salt fish is soak it through several changes of water, but they are just eating it out of hand while reading a scientific journal because they aren't really interested in how food tastes or even how hard it is to chew. They just want something in their stomach.
Are you doing the equivalent of eating dry pasta out of the box?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And Avenant, you don't know these people quite as well because you've only recently come to live here.
So here's the thing. I paid my deposit. I thought I'd be able to get some jobs. But, the city doesn't treat the Devkarn elves terribly well. It doesn't like the Golgari up here. Because y'all are prejudiced. Not all of us are swimming in filth, okay? Just because I'm living off of mushrooms that grow in my corner of the building does not mean that I'm filthy.
No, you're resourceful.
The mushrooms aren't really quite in yet, because I haven't been here that long, so I'm going to have to go find something to eat this morning. I'm going to have to...
All right.
Gardon slides egg over.
Oh.
But first takes like a plant and like garnish on top of the eggs.
Oh, thank you. It was real nice.
It should be said, as I mentioned, Avenant is a relatively new person to this enclave. The rest of you have been here for a little while, probably a few months, and know some of each other's foibles. As you are eating your breakfasts and your fish and
My seaweed shake.
not eating,
Mystery eggs.
there is suddenly a pounding on the door. Boom, 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 boom.
Uh-oh.
Open up!
Not it?
In the name of the Azorius.
Oh no, definitely not it.
No. No.
Gardono speak.
So it should be mentioned, as I said, that this is not necessarily the most legal of residential places. The area that you're living in, Midori Park, which I'm guessing Cassia came to because it was named Park, it's not a park at all. It is, in fact, a warehouse district. It used to be a park, and then the Orzhov Syndicate took it over and constructed a bunch of warehouses in it. And now it is the central warehouse district of the entire District 10 region, the 10th district. Obviously, there's warehouses of all sorts. You guys are on Confectioner's Row. They don't actually make confections here. It is where they store grain and such that comes from various farms in the city of Ravnica.
We live in a lie.
So, you know this is not necessarily a place that people should be living. The cramped quarters you have in this basement, this cellar, it's been converted to allow people to have a modicum of comfort. It's not necessarily the best place. There's probably a nice stall for you to sleep in. There's,
I've got a dank corner.
maybe
It's very nice.
bunk beds. Yeah, dank corner for you. You perhaps, as a Golgari, may find it more comfortable than
Honestly, I
you
don't see
would
what's so bad
living
about this place.
above ground in a dry house.
I miss the sound of dripping.
Too dark.
honestly.
Too dark.
No stalagmites, no stalactites. I don't.
The pounding
Okay.
continues.
Nope, not it.
Open up!
There's no other exits, right?
There are no other exits. It's a ramp that leads from a cellar door, basically.
Okay.
I mean, also, have you seen my horse butt? I am not climbing out of horse.
Has this happened before in the time that we've been there, or is this the first
No,
time we're being
this is the
visited?
first time that you've
Other
been
than
visited
This isn't a voice
by
we
somebody from the
recognize.
Azores.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, Gardon's not going anywhere near that.
All right, fine.
Collects his eggs.
I'll go up and answer the door.
Okay.
So there's when you roll the hit.
So, standing at the door is a very imperious-looking woman in Azorius robes, white and blue robes, over a sort of battered set of armor. And she sort of pushes her way past you, and
His house. When you get
pushes her way in and says, looks around at this sort of odd group of people, and looks at Hermatu, and says, "Ah, Inspector Obode, you look nothing like I had expected you. Hello.
yeah. So
I am Lawbringer Almunda, and I need your assistance."
I think both need
There would certainly be a reason for me not looking like you expect me to look. Inspector Abonde.
Abode.
Abode.
A-B-O-D-E.
Madam, I'm afraid you have come to the wrong residence.
I had been assured that his residence was here, although perhaps that was a little while ago. Admittedly, the tales of his adventures haven't been updated in a while. That leaves me at somewhat of an impasse. I did rather need somebody who had experience at solving mysteries.
Well, have a seat, won't you?
You're certain you're not the inspector?
I'm quite certain. I've
Perhaps
had
in
several.
disguise.
No. I have had several names in my time. None of them have had the word inspector affixed to them. However, I do know a thing or two about mysteries. Is there anything that I can help you with, and is there anything that I can be remunerated for helping you with, perhaps?
so it comes to funds.
I'm afraid so, madam, but please do make yourself comfortable. I'm afraid we have a few square feet only, but...
Well, when needs must, there is a situation that I need addressed in a discreet fashion. If you could perhaps locate the inspector, that would be helpful. I have some materials that I could provide to him and a small stipend that I had been issued to deal with this matter.
We are the most discreet.
Such discretion.
Absolutely, we're so discreet you very nearly didn't find us, madam.
I feel like this would be the appropriate time that Garden would drag a chair over for them.
Just like,
And yeah, totally not doing it in a great way, but like brushes it off and allows them to sit and then walks away.
Well, as I do not have the inspector, perhaps you can assist me in this task. These are the letters that I had prepared for him. There has been a theft.
I'm like reading over your shoulder.
The Azorius have an ancient item, a relic, called the Eye of Azor. And 2 nights ago, it was stolen. And we rather need it back, with as much speed and discretion as possible. I have been authorized to provide you with working funds in the amount of 500 zibs, in addition to a small stipend. If you are able to return this object to me, I can certainly see my way to provide you with considerably more. Of course, as I said, discretion is important. If word were to get out that this particular relic was no longer in the possession of the Azorius, and if we do not have it back in our hands within the next 3 days or so, before the beginning of next month, there could be repercussions. So it would probably be best if you're able to locate this item. If you were to reach out to me, I will provide you with this, a speaking coin. And she passes it to you. If you simply call my name while holding this coin, you will be able to speak with me wherever you are, and I will come and retrieve the eye. I believe I am being more than generous in assisting you with this, and allowing you to assist me with this.
Oh, yes, madam. I think we're both very, very fortunate that you should find us on this day. I believe you can be assured of our complete discretion, and I look around and say, can't she?
yeah?
Yes.
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 Definitely.
Inspector Abode. So, Inspector Abode is a man who, or not a man, who disguises themselves and may be found in any place, in any guise. Is that so?
Well, I mean, the tales of his adventures, which had been published for some time, did describe him as a man capable of disguise. So, although you don't meet the descriptions that I had seen, I assumed, because he is of the Belgian, that perhaps you were he, and you do live in his house. You could perhaps find out more about him by investigating to discover or to learn about his prior adventures. Maybe you can even discover what happened to him, and that would be very helpful.
Absolutely. I am not very much one for leisure reading. Has anybody else ever read anything like the Adventures of Inspector Abode? Is that one of the serials that people read?
Who has time to read?
Some of us read for a living. However, as that is, we are very much enthusiastic to do anything we can to help you in this matter. The Inspector Abode, he's a man at large for the Azorius. He may be found anywhere on any mission. He doesn't have what you would call a beat, I believe the police term is.
No, he is more of an independent contractor. He doesn't actually work for the Azorius, though he has been known to take on tasks.
Eye of Azor. Well, we will do absolutely everything we can to find this man, and to find how it is we have been living in his house all this time, possibly using his furniture without knowing it. Again, I am very, very glad, and I'm sort of bustling this person towards the door, clasping the shoulder in the way that somebody who is trying to be personable and doesn't actually like people will do. I'm very, very glad that you have found us today.
Well, I will provide you with this coin. She gives you a small sack of coins.
Thank you.
And I encourage you to contact me if there's anything that you need from me using the speaking coin.
All right. So she's given me 500 zibs and the speaking coin.
Yes.
Okay, then I've got that thing. Yeah.
Does she leave?
And with that, she leaves, closes the door behind her.
Okay, guys, important question. How much is our rent altogether?
So your total rent is probably in the few thousand zibs.
So not enough.
This doesn't solve that, does it?
We probably need to go find this thing.
Yeah,
Should we have maybe figured out what the thing we're even looking for looks like? Like how big it is? It's bigger than a bread box?
The Eye of Azor, there's a
Is that,
That's-
is that the thing
that's
or is that
the-
the
I
seal?
assumed that
that's
was
the
the
Azorius
Azorius
seal.
Okay, that's the Azorius seal. Okay.
You think it looks
So
like that?
do you want to read for chat the
Oh.
contents that she
Would you like
provided
to read
you
it?
with?
Do you want...
Yes, I will read this aloud because that is just a bearer letter.
Yeah, that's the warrant.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. We have a warrant.
Yes, we do. Inspector Abode, I have been assured that you are an individual capable of swift and discreet solutions to difficult situations. 2 nights ago, there was a break-in at the tower of the Azorius Senate in New Prov, and a valuable relic, the Eye of Azor, was taken from its storage space. It is imperative that the eye be recovered before the first of Praz and the investiture ceremonies. It is urgent that the news of this theft not spread beyond those essential to the eye's recovery. If you are able to locate it, please contact me using the enclosed speaking coin to arrange for me to recover it and return it to New Prov. With the authority of the Azorius Investigative Tribunal, Lawbringer Almunda.
And the other piece that she gave you.
Yes, it simply reads, the individual carrying this letter is to be provided with access to any crime scene related to the theft of the Eye of Azor. They have my backing and act under my authority.
So,
I don't think we got much choice. I think we have to go. I mean,
so okay, do we want to go right for the eye? Or do we want to try and figure out who this inspector was? Or is? We don't know.
is he our landlord?
no.
Landlord's not Vidalcan.
He vampire.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's not our landlord. That'd be really cool.
Teeth.
No, pointy teeth, yeah.
I mean, it could be a really good disguise. You know, it covers his blue face up, wears a wig.
I would say he could be the property manager, but with the Orzhov being what they are, they could possibly be renting this building without his knowledge, assuming he's been gone for long enough.
Those guys. Did they eat him?
Not out of the question, but not likely because there would be a lot of trouble and there's better blood and better targets.
Some of them don't care.
I mean, I love home, I do, but they let us live here. Standards on things are not necessarily, yeah.
Don't see the problem with this place. It's great.
No, I feel you. There's plenty of grain.
There is.
There's more egg under floorboard.
Floor eggs is very important.
Yes, floor eggs.
I don't have a problem with floor eggs. I go over and I'm like checking under the floorboard for another egg. I'm totally okay eating these things raw.
Yes.
Did we ever figure out what species they are?
Oh no, he has no idea.
Oh, okay. Where did
no
he find
clue.
them?
Under the floor.
Under the floor.
Oh,
Under the floorboard.
They came from under the floor. Okay.
They're literally floor eggs.
He side note real quick, because this is one of the things I've been writing.
Yeah.
He has
House-laid eggs.
he likes to do really bad poetry, which he started writing about the floor eggs.
Okay.
He thinks it's brilliant, but he doesn't quite get it. So he's talking about floor eggs and how they're not there anymore
Okay.
because he ate them,
I mean,
except for those ones.
let's face it, Gardon, not the most intelligent
No
of creatures.
No, he's not. But yeah.
He's reliable,
You be nice to my guardian.
dependable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's good at what he does. Just don't have him do things he doesn't do.
Those are good. Thanks.
Good floor
They're
eggs.
real good.
Good with garnish.
This place that we live, we're
Yeah,
living in this
sure.
in this basement, and it's just got a ramp down and some tight quarters there. And up above, what does the building look like up above? Is this like a tenement cut up into several floors?
So, right above you, there's floorboards obviously for the ceiling, and right above that is a warehouse full of grain, and you periodically hear carts being wheeled in there, loaded and wheeled out at odd times. Not often at night, because the streets of the district are not super safe, but sometimes, yeah. As is indicated, or as is implied by the name of the area where you're in, there is a lot of grain and various baking materials that come out of this area.
Yeah, bakers start early in the morning.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so
So basically, you're living under the floorboards of a warehouse in Confectioner's Row. It probably was a storage space at some point, and it's been, walls have been constructed to make it into a residential space.
okay. Okay.
This was this inspector's home, and now it's a warehouse with a basement that we live in. Seems like maybe that inspector lived here like a while ago.
Yeah, we've been here a long time, like relatively.
A
Okay.
few months at least, right?
Yeah, long enough. We're not getting any of his mail, are we?
We get mail?
Nobody's come, but like none of his like missives or messages or anything. Like
Yeah,
Gardon
nobody
doesn't
has
check
come
this
from
is the
looking
first
for him
person
prior
to come looking
There's
for
a
this
box?
guy.
It's outside.
Ravnica and Amazon.
I'll go check the mail.
Is it like a? Is
There anything in the
dragon
box?
smile?
Yeah, right. Dragon
So-
smile.
You have a mail slot, maybe.
Okay.
That stuff gets chucked through, and
Is there like
maybe
a
you
pile in the
get
corner?
flyers, yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
but nothing addressed to a Bode.
Okay.
Okay. My character's first instinct is actually to go to the library and look at what his adventures were like and what he was likely to be doing. I have the feeling that we don't have time for that.
3 days.
3 days.
3 days. Before the end of the month.
So, are we just gonna go looking for this eye thing? Because we've got that piece of paper that says we can go anywhere, which is pretty awesome.
And we've got some monies and a stipend and a contact with this guy. And honestly, end of the month is 3 days away. They're kicking us out anyway.
Right.
Spear.
Yeah, we gotta do
Yeah,
something.
we gotta hustle.
Might as well go.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't gonna be able to see the inside of like the Azorius Senate anytime soon, so
At least not in a good way. Sorry, friend.
yeah, that's fair.
No offense. I'm in the same boat.
So what we can do is to go to the. We can actually swagger right into the Azorius Sinus like we own the place, and check out the break-in scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got all sorts of fancy, like, preservation spells and stuff. I bet it's been kept, like,
Pristine.
neat as pin.
Absolutely. We'll check that out.
All right.
All right, so
I'm down with that.
you're setting out for the 2nd District.
Yes.
So the 2nd District, which is the home of the Azorius Senate, is very upscale. Although, the Orzhov have their fingers in many things here. You're probably aware of this. but it's primarily an upscale district, lots of nice shops, and towering over the northeast corner of the district is the 3 towers representing the 3 pillars of Ravnican governance. The executive, the administrative, and the legislative branches. And that is where the Tower of the Azoria Senate is. There's sort of one giant round tower split into 3 pie wedges. So it's not a terribly long journey to get there. It'll probably take you walking, because it's all within the 10th district. It'll probably take you from the morning until sometime in the afternoon, but you could perhaps hire a hansom cab, or you'd walk alongside it. You can walk a little faster.
All
than
aboard the
anybody
maid.
else. All right,
Not all
so
of you, you won't all fit.
a word about Ravnican centaurs. You do have a horse's body, but it is a small horse. You're 4 feet high at the withers, so you've got a horse's body, but it's not large enough for most folks to ride. Maybe
almost like a
goblin
pony.
could ride you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the, this might just be me not familiar as much, policy on walking around with, like, weapons? As adventurers, that's generally a thing that people do, but in some towns you can't do that. And so in this case, in Ravnica, do they have, like, a peace thing? Peace ties, what they're called?
Perhaps we should talk a little bit, and this is history that all of you would know, about the guilds and Ravnica. The city of Ravnica is run by 10 guilds, each of which has a different sort of worldview and has a different thing that they want to be able to do. For 10,000 years, they were held in peace by a magical pact called the Guild Pact. About 75 years ago, that pact was broken. And for a while, things were pretty dicey. And walking around with weapons on the streets probably would have had the Boros Legion called on you, and you would have found yourself locked up. But there was a backup plan to the Guild Pact, which was a spell left behind by the creator of the Azorius Guild, Azor, who has not been seen for thousands of years, but he left behind a backup plan, which allowed the Guild Pact to be rewritten, sort of. After a big brouhaha, and there was this race, and people had to decode symbols and run all over the city, one person was chosen to be the living Guild Pact. And this person is a sort of shiftless, unknowable guy in blue who tends to vanish. This guy named Jace. And he's not always around. So, yes, there is a guild pact now. Yes, there is generally peace amongst the guilds. No, it's not terribly stable. As far as you folks know, Jace hasn't been seen in a couple of months. So, folks are pushing the boundaries, but yes, weapons are allowed in the streets of Ravnica. If you cause a disturbance,
Yeah, that's a whole different...
you will almost
You will subsequently
immediately
not
have the
be allowed.
gendarme on you.
Yeah, no. I was thinking purely as a carrying
Yeah.
capacity. Okay, cool.
So you've got your spear,
Yep.
you've got your shield. Do you want to describe your armament?
Yeah, sure. The spear, just because why not, is kind of vine-like, has cool little bits about it. But the... Sorry, I'm trying to find the actual note. The shield has a tree on it that, as far as you guys have seen, is a tree. However, actually, you would know this really well. When he uses it and does certain, has certain emotions, such as his ragey bits, as happens, the tree kind of lights on fire a bit and betrays his inner emotions a bit more. But relatively common. It's a nice, kind of glowy looking tree, if I remember correctly, as we discussed. Yeah.
So, generally, a Simic shield but animated.
Yeah.
Okay. How do the rest of you prepare for heading out?
I mean, I don't need my sword, but I'm going to carry it anyway, because I do have, like, unarmed combat training, but it's
Okay.
always good to have an extra blade. You never know when you're going to need it.
Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly. I don't have any robes that are clean. So I've found my cleanest robes, but like living around here, nothing's gonna be pristine. So I've got like greenish black, like dark olive green robes, like monk robes that I'm wearing, and I've got a sash, a green and black sort of striped sash that I can tie around my waist. And I've got a sword belt, and I've got that on. I've got like my bracers and stuff. I've got like, you know, I don't mind looking okay, but like the bottoms of my robes are muddy, like because you trump through the mud. That's just how it is.
I just realized how perfect putting that sign up there.
That's not weird.
Because you already have the shoe up there.
I have my centaur robes, which Amanda was telling me about these things that, out of game for a moment, the things that like Boston police horses have, where like Boston police officers have a coat that covers the back end of the horse. It's like that, but a robe for me.
Awesome.
Where I have a robe and it covers my horse butt. Yeah. And I have a quarterstaff. It's very like gnarled. Like it looks like I've just found a hunk of tree and turned it into a stick that I'm gonna smack people with, or you know, rescue small animals out of trees with, or from gutters, or you know, wherever. And I've got a shield, and I have Nibbles the bug dog perched upon a shoulder or wherever he's decided to sit. He's somewhere upon my person, might be climbing in my hair, maybe in my pockets. Who knows? He's there somewhere.
Where are the horse pockets? Like
In the robe?
Are they saddlebag style, or are they like pockets like a vest pocket?
Well, you've got to have like regular arms.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
regular arms, so there are like front vest pockets, but then also probably
I would imagine like because can you wear a backpack as a centaur? I don't know.
Sure.
Like, I guess you
Yes.
could. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah.
But you
I
probably
have a-
also have small saddlebags
I
as
have
well.
a belt pouch, which I'm going to headcanon like a small saddlebag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which contains my Selesnya insignia thing.
And I have my spellcasting focus, which is the most important thing, the goggles. The dagger, just because, and a small pouch with the other scholar's pack and the other things that I need. We've got very plain buff robes, a little off the shoulder, and the sort of thing that Vidal can wear when they're doing things that aren't very swishy and can't get a sleeve caught in things.
I've got my robes on. I keep my fidget ring on at all times because I need to be moving constantly forever. So spinning. I've got some daggers that I strap under the robes. They're not really like hidden, but they're not really like visible either. And a little crossbow that I just chuck on the back just in case I want something. To get ready to go.
So you are playing as a Simic modified person. What visible modifications do you have? Do you have like gills or?
Yeah, so I had to look this up because I haven't played Magic since 1995. So I guess I've got like greenish tint to my face, to my skin. I've got some gills. It maybe looks like a little like scaly, like iridescent-ish in the light. And maybe sort of my face is a little bit fishy, but not like super fishy.
Okay.
Like enough where you're like, is that a maybe? But you're not really sure unless you're really close.
Yeah, the Simic tend to experiment on people, which can give you some additional abilities, but does make you look a little bit. Were you originally an elf?
I was originally an elf.
Okay, so less elfish,
Yes.
Not anymore.
more fishy.
Something's fishy about that one.
Comment on my smell, we'll have a problem.
What smell? There's no smell.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't.
twice the point.
So,
Y'all, I have a scimitar. Should I bring the scimitar? Should I leave it home?
Let's strap it on. Why not?
Yeah.
Although I did realize, as everybody else said it, I also wear chainmail. I didn't say that. I just talked about the sword,
got
the
it.
spear, and
Yeah, that was the important part.
Yeah, those are the important parts. He also has chainmail. It's cool.
So, strap both things across. Human back, horseback, unclear. They're attached to me somehow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I've pulled this off.
All right, so
I've generally entangled myself in my weapons somehow.
So we're gonna go check out the crime scene.
Yeah.
And we're official.
Yeah.
Gardon walks with
We got a warrant.
like official walk, what he thinks it is, which is not the official walk. But like, cause he slouches a lot, so he's trying to like over straighten and like walk really fancy.
Are you doing the Leo strut?
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, yeah.
You're doing good, man.
Good. Looks good.
Doing real good, buddy.
all right, so
Good job,
you head down Tin Street through Precinct 6, the area where you live and where you're all most familiar with. This is a sort of very urban industrial area. So there's the forge area where you guys have a lab that you share, and you pass through there, get to the Transguild Promenade. Are you walking? How much time are you willing to spend on this, or are you going to try and hire a cab?
Do we have the money for a cab?
I mean, certainly you could spend 100 zips or so to save a couple hours.
Out of 500?
We probably can get more.
Let's see.
Expensive.
Yes.
There's a lot of us, and a couple of us are big. So
I
we're
don't
gonna need
need to
a
be in a
bigger
cab.
cab. Okay. So there's not quite as many of us, but one of us is still real big. So we need to get a bigger cab. That
Big
may
boss.
cost extra.
Yes.
So should we just walk?
How long would it take? Just like
I'm going to say it would probably take you about 5 hours to walk over to the 2nd Precinct. It's pretty much across the 10th District.
no way to get there faster, or maybe underground.
I mean, not without spending some money.
I know paths and stuff underground. Being a Golgari.
You do, absolutely.
Do I know any shortcuts?
Give me a history check, or yeah, history.
History? That would be a 20.
Wow. Okay, so
Thank you.
the
you guys.
Transguild Promenade, which is the road that runs basically around all of the 10th District and runs through all the different precincts, does wend a little bit.
Okay.
If you want to go into the sewers, you can probably take a straighter path.
It's sewers. And we're going to a crime scene that's all official.
How is
Also,
the smell?
how do we get into the sewers? Does it involve a ladder? The Ravnica Accessibility Council would like you to know.
Look, the Golgari welcome everyone. And we like to think of ourselves as pretty welcoming to centaurs too. We don't have many in our ranks, but doesn't mean we wouldn't welcome you. So there are ways to get into the sewers that are accessible.
Yeah, you're not that far.
But
Thinking like a pulley.
we'll probably end up getting real dirty because it's the sewers. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of ways that don't involve the sewer specifically.
That don't involve us getting covered in the poops.
Yeah, that may not be the best idea, showing up at a crime scene covered in,
Poo.
refuse.
Unfortunately, I don't believe mending takes out smells.
No.
Tears? Sure. Rips? You got it. Smells not so much.
I may talk to you about that later. Later. Yeah, I know a shortcut, guys, but it's probably not the best for this situation.
Maybe getting back.
Maybe, yeah. I know a place where we can stop to eat down there too. So
Do they have eggs?
Get some mushrooms.
they definitely they make like this amazing
I don't know why you
mushroom
have
omelet. It's so good. You'd never know where the eggs came from. So they're not house eggs, I'll tell you that.
Floor eggs.
Yeah, they're not floor eggs.
I don't know what his thing is with eggs, but I'm going with it. So
Floor
it's fine.
eggs were real good. I don't know. Do we want to take a?
Let's do that so that we can
card?
let's take a card so that we can turn up looking like we're actually official and not a shortcut that we in ourselves.
Okay, so you flag down a cab, and it's a cart drawn by Indrik, which is a large Ravnican long-necked beast, and moves quite speedily through the streets. The cab driver, sitting up atop the cab, sort of chatters on incessantly at you as you go, oh boy, it's only a few more days until the investiture ceremonies. That's going to be a lot of fun. And investiture.
Sorry. That's what he's doing the whole time.
Yeah.
What the what? With the what now?
Oh, well, when all the fancy new judges and new senators get sworn in and stuff.
Oh, right.
It's always a big thing. Right at the beginning of the month, they have this big thing, and they take their oaths, and they have sweet cakes and stuff. Oh, man, those sweet cakes.
Cakes.
Wow.
Can we go to this party?
Possibly.
If we find the thing, we might get an invite.
So do the thing first, then we go get the cakes.
Do you get a lot of people in your cab who are excited about it, talking to you about how much they're looking forward to the party?
Oh, well, people like any excuse for a parade or, throwing confetti or anything that lets people let off some steam. Of course, the Rakdos, I try to stay away from them because they tend to get blood everywhere when they're celebrating.
Yeah, I've heard that. So, is it like everyone goes to this party, or is this just like an Azorius only thing, or?
Oh, well, the entire 2nd District, I think, a lot of folks come out into the streets, and yeah, it's a big thing.
It's a lot.
So you don't need an invite to go, you can just go.
Well, I mean, if you're the wrong sort, you probably wouldn't be welcome.
The wrong sort.
And he gives sort of a look at Avinin.
Kind of used to this, but I don't like it.
Cassia looks sort of confused and unsure
And
why
he
Abner
gives-
would be the wrong sort.
A little bit of the side eye to Morgana, too.
Excuse me. I beg your pardon.
I know, right?
I don't like it.
No.
The wrong sort.
Anyway, here we are, Azorius Senate. Good luck, all of you lot.
But thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, new friend.
So that probably shaved like 3 or 4 hours off of your trip.
Nice.
More time to investigate, right?
So the sun is up, the streets are beginning to bustle. You are outside the large grand doors of the Azorius Senate.
Not.
Is there a doorbell?
So as you start to approach the doors, a Boros guard in red and white sort of steps out in front of you and says, "What exactly is your business here?"
And the warrant.
Yes.
Really?
We're investigators.
We are here on very official business.
Super official.
I say spinning my ring around.
He doesn't look convinced, but it is a convincing looking piece of paper. Does somebody want to try and do a persuasion check? See if you can convince him that...
Which of us is the good at this?
I'm pretty good at
I would
this.
say it might be you.
I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna think right.
I'm not bad, but I'm probably not the best.
Not the worst, but I'm bad at words.
True.
I could beat this.
My words are persuasive.
Yeah, let's
Make
see.
it so.
Oh, 18.
Ah, well, all right, why don't you come on in, and he leads you in and leads you sort of down a side corridor, not like down like the main corridors, yes.
Is there a boot scraper?
Oh, definitely.
I scrape my boots.
Yeah.
I figure I do not want to be tracking what we live in
Yeah.
around this place. I'm not leaving dirty footprints around
Likewise,
this
I
place.
clear my hooves off.
So he takes you to a office off to the side and introduces you to a large elderly-looking loxodon, which is a elephant man with spectacles, wearing official-looking robes, and says, "Pontiff Orov, these are inspectors who are here to see something about the eye?" And the elephant sort of uses his trunk to adjust his spectacles and looks at you and says, "Really?
Yep.
That's
What was
odd."
the name?
Orov. O-R-O-V.
He was the
And the guard passes him your warrant, and he sort of mutters a quick spell and waves his hand over it, and the seal glows blue for a moment, and he says, "Well, this is most unusual. She hasn't been seen, Almunda hasn't been seen in these parts in a little while, but she does tend to know her business. Well, you'd best come with me." And he leads you further into the complex and takes you down some hallways and up some hallways, and eventually you come towards a door that is mostly off its hinges, and there's like the Ravnican equivalent of caution tape, which in this case is blue and white and has runes on it, sort of strapped across the hallway, and he sort of lifts it for you so you can come under. And he leads you toward the edge of the room, and he says, "So, several people have already been through here, have looked through this room, but if you feel that you can find anything they perhaps missed, you're welcome to look. Almunda's warrant certainly gives you the permission to do such a thing."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Do I know, like, when he's talking about her, do we notice, like, any weird tone or anything? Like, she's been missing, like, she hasn't been around for a while?
Yeah,
Is
you
there
want to give
anything
me a
we can-
perception check?
Sure. 15.
Okay. So, from him, you don't necessarily get any impression other than she hasn't been seen for a while.
Okay.
But he says, "I'll take my leave of you here. If you have any questions, send a runner to me." And there's a couple of guards standing out front, just sort of blocking anybody from coming down this particular hallway.
To send runners.
So you're standing outside of this vault. It has a sturdy wooden door that is singed and on its on only one hinge and sort of leaning against the wall.
Singed like it was, like there was an explosion?
Perhaps. It looks as if, well, give me a perception check on the door.
18?
Ah, so it's got some shrapnel on the inside of the door, but the lock on the door has been smashed, not by an explosion, but like the impact of some large object has smashed the lock.
Knowing my expertise in smashing things,
Okay.
every now and then, I want to look at that and like see if maybe this is something I might have seen somebody else do.
All right, you've
Using my
smashed
magic.
things before. You're familiar with how things that have been smashed
It's a
look.
crappy
Give me
explanation, but
yeah.
I'm going with it.
If we were
Give me
playing
a perception
Fate,
check.
this would be like, that would be a thing,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like smashing things.
Yeah.
One of your
That's
qualities.
a 17.
Ah, okay. So, yes, this lock has definitely been smashed. By a
Thanks.
heavy object. Looking around the room, maybe you see there's some pedestals, and there's some wall hangings that are also singed and burnt, and there's other object art, including maybe some heavy items. Let's say a bust was used to smash this lock from the inside to make it look as if somebody tried to break into this vault.
So this is the vault that is directly off the hallway, and it has all these other things in there. Can we see where the Eye of Azor is missing? Is there an obviously missing?
Yeah, where is it meant to be?
Is there anything else in the room that's still on display or like stored in there?
So there are several different esoteric items sort of strewn about. Obviously, they've been left where they fell. None of you have asked anybody what the eye is, so that makes it difficult to determine where it should be.
Is there a display place that
Yeah,
is...
So I'm gonna-
like obviously missing.
Can I poke my head out the door and ask one of the guards, hey, can you just give me a rough description of the Eye of Azor? Have you seen it recently? What did it look like the last time you saw it?
Oh, well, that's that staff thing, right? It's got like a staff, and it's got this circle, and like this gem in it.
Uh-huh.
Like an eye.
And it didn't look any different the last time you saw it than the time before that.
I'm not sure what you mean. It's the Eye of Azor.
Always looked the same.
Yeah?
Great.
What color was the gem the last time you saw it?
Oh, it's like clear, so you can look through it.
Okay.
Like an eye.
Like an eye.
Yeah. You've been really helpful.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Glad I could help.
Really
I'll be
helpful.
right here.
Thank you.
You stay there. You do
Yeah,
that.
we will let you
Okay.
know if we need more help.
Keep doing you over there.
Okay, guys.
So we're looking for a staff.
For a staff with a gem on... Is it just the gem that's the eye? Or is it the whole staff?
Is there a staff in the room?
Is there a staff
Yeah,
laying around?
is there
Did
a-
we lose just the sparkly bit? Did it fall off and roll under the couch?
So, you look around a little bit, and you don't see any pieces of wood, like, lying on the ground. Who's the most perceptive of you?
Might be me.
It's not me.
I have a +4.
I got +5.
I have.
Ooh.
I have a +1.
I'm a dose.
so it's-
Bupkis.
So, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Whoops.
Or investigation, I guess.
Investigation is different than perception.
Yeah,
I have
investigation,
+5 to
perception are
investigation.
different.
No, go do an
yeah,
investigation.
You do that
Okay.
then.
I mean,
D20. Yep.
Okay. And
you're the inspector after all.
oh, for God's sake, it's a 2.
I just
And,
wanted to for the perception.
So you get distracted by some things in the room.
Okay, a 2
First aid job.
plus 5 is
Is a
7.
7.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not the worst.
Okay.
But you're not, I mean, you as somebody who's fascinated by science and like magic, you're looking around the room and sort of getting distracted by various items, looking at the burnt wall hangings. You have some notion that they have various magical powers and stuff. So you're distracted by that and don't find anything regarding the eye. Cassia, did you end up doing a roll?
I was rolling for perception, not
Okay, do a
investigation.
perception roll then.
Oh, should I read? Because I just did, and I pulled
what
a 2.
was it? Oh, it was also a 2. Okay.
Yeah, so
Can I? Because I want to see these other items that are around too,
Okay.
and see like, are they on the pedestals? Are they on the floor? Like, I want to look around at what these other things are and see what else is in this room too.
Is there
I'm gonna
like
come with you on that.
so like they're on pedestals? Are there little placards that talk about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So There are, and they are all in sort of wiry runes.
That's annoying.
What languages do people know?
Vidalcan and Goblin are probably not going to be real helpful here.
Elvish, Sylvan, Common, and Druidic.
Common, Elvish, Crawl, and Giant.
Just Common and Elvish.
Sylvan, Common, and Minotaur.
Okay. So, yeah, they're Elvish. So, 3/4 of you can read them. And they're, various investiture ceremony things. The robes to be worn by the magistrate, and the special ring to be worn by the magistrate. And there's a display case it's a glass display case with a sort of a bracket in it that's intended to hold a rod, obviously, that says the Eye of Azor. And
is the glass intact?
The glass is intact. The latch, the lock on the display case, the glass is intact, but blackened. It has like scorch marks radiating out from the lock on the case.
Inside or outside?
On the outside.
Someone lit the lock on fire.
What I'm thinking is that
Or
someone,
blast it or something.
from the way that the lock was destroyed on
Glass.
the outside, from the way that it was burnt, someone stole this from the inside of the vault, which means they got in here using a spell or some kind of a focus, some kind of teleportation power related to an item inside the vault. Someone got in here magically. And how did they do it?
Or somebody that had access to the vault got in and took the thing.
Oh, an inside job.
Yeah.
Then why did they do anything to cause any destruction? Why didn't they silently remove it?
Well, so like, the Azorius really like spells that hold you in place. Super irritating. What if opening it without like really having access set off some sort of trap?
Right, but I'm going to take some time while everybody's looking around doing all this other stuff and use ritual casting to cast Detect Magic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Around. I know a lot of things are going to go on
Yeah.
We're in a magic place. That's kind of the thing.
So, you cast Detect Magic. How long does the ritual take?
The ritual takes about 10 minutes.
Oh, sure. That's plenty of time to do that. So, you cast Detect Magic, and absolutely, like, the robes are magic, have magic woven into them. The glass of the display case is magic. You can clearly see that it is, glowing. There are the remnants of, or there are shards of something that had as their origin the lock on the display case. But because you've cast Detect Magic, you actually see like wedges of them pinned into like the inside of the door. There's holes in some of the robes where bits of this, whatever it was, have punched through. And there's, I don't know, maybe you find a larger piece of it behind one of the wall hangings where it had been thrown off by the explosion.
Do I get schools of magic on them? Particularly the shards and the glass case.
So, how familiar are you with Is It Magic?
Not me personally, not terribly. I'm not sure about Gardon. I just know generally Detect Magic gives you a school.
So you find a piece of it. It looks like maybe the shell of a scarab, about yay sized, maybe brooch sized, and you get a sense that, yeah, it was definitely an explosion that blew it apart.
If I was to cast, or rather, if I was to roll for Arcana, would I have? Was that something that would show me what this item was or where it came from? Like if I had
Possibly.
this piece
Yeah.
of a scarab. Okay, so I'll roll. Pick another dice if that's a d20. Okay, so and I have a +5 to Arcana, so 16 plus 5. That's pretty nice. That's 21.
So, in your laboratory, you have a lot of various equipment that you've purchased over the years for your esoteric studies. And much of that equipment comes with maker's marks on them. You do happen to recognize on the inside of the scarab shell piece a "is it" symbol and maker's mark for somebody who would know how to make explosives, magical explosives.
So that's a lab that specializes in that kind of manufacture.
Yeah. I mean, you guys work in the smelting quarters, not anywhere near the Is It University, the smelting quarters, but there are a lot of, there are a lot of alchemical experiments that go on in that area, and of course the manufacture of various weapons and things.
So it could have been sold to anyone, but we could find out where it was sold, and I don't know if it's like, if it was a corporation or a craftsman, or not a craftsman, but someone who works on a small enough scale that we could find their records.
So I see that they're looking at that.
Yeah.
And I
share my knowledge. I explain to her what the mark means, and tell and say, you know, this is Izet. It could have been bought by anyone, but it was made by the Izet.
I mean, aren't you a member of it?
Yes,
guild, right?
I am, and what we like is to be left alone, and we like to leave other people alone in the doing of this.
My point is, do you know anyone who likes to make things go boom, who might know other people who like to make things go boom? Because the is it kind of that happens sometimes, or so I'm told.
I just might know that. And Andy, do I know this specific maker's mark? Then I can tell that I can get this that I can track down this person.
Yeah, you'd probably
Okay.
be able to find the
Yes.
individual who manufactured this device.
Okay, so I say yes, I'm afraid I do.
So
It's good news, though, right?
Yes. That and after that they go silent. They're thinking about what exactly it might take to suss out whether this was sold or stolen or made by order.
well,
While they're thinking, I'm now looking at
all right.
other stuff in the room.
So, I mean, the room is in disarray.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's stuff that's been knocked down, blown down. It's a large, square room. To get here, you had to climb several flights of stairs, which was probably fun for you.
This isn't accessibility.
It's
calling
got the
Ravnica
one
accessibility team.
large, heavy door and a single small barred window high up on the wall that's letting in some morning sunlight right now.
Garden, you were looking for magic, right? That window, are there any spells on that?
So, no, it does not appear that there's anything magical about it. It's just a small window with bars placed perhaps a foot apart, perhaps a little closer apart. as you would see on a prison cell or something like that. Too small for an adult person to get their head through, basically.
And there was no sign of any traps, magical aura traps type stuff either, correct? In the room?
So there's obviously alarm spells set on the room, but you don't detect anything.
Anything, okay.
Yeah.
I studied explosive rooms today.
Okay.
I'm taller than they are, though, right?
Yes.
I'm taller. Do I have a better view of that window than they do?
Okay, so the window's probably... that would be tough. That would be really tough.
You've hoisted an entire horse butt.
The window is probably 8 feet up on the wall. If you get up on your withers, you can probably prop yourself up and get your
human self up into this window.
Half up to the window. Do you want to do an investigation check on the window?
Can't investigation a window.
Okay.
Or
Can I perception a window?
can I climb onto your shoulders?
Yes. Can someone climb me?
Sure.
Okay. Come on, friend.
I
All
get a
aboard the
bonus
horse
to
train.
acrobatics.
Okay. You're quite good at climbing.
I am. So I
Gardon
climb.
stands ready to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gardon is
Hey,
spotting.
Garden, spot me. So I clamber up
All right, Abington. All aboard. Let's go.
onto Cassia's shoulders just to check and see. I just want to see what this window looks out on.
Okay.
Yeah, and if there's anything noticeable out it.
All right. So peering out the window, you can see that looks out onto the courtyard between the 3 towers.
Okay.
It is quite high up on a sheer wall, and you see the other 2 towers out in front of you. And give me a perception check, I guess.
10.
There's a slimy residue on the bars.
So I touch it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, feels like home. And
Ew. That's familiar.
hey guys,
Yeah.
these bars are slimy.
Don't lick it.
Gross. Please don't put that in my hair.
I wasn't gonna, but if I do you guys have a handkerchief or something that I could take a sample or something with?
I have paper. I should have paper in my.
You have mud on the bottom of your cloak, right?
Yeah. But it's already a clean handkerchief.
We're done.
I have
It
a,
won't
I have a
be
piece of parchment.
contaminated. A piece of parchment.
Yes, you
Okay.
can fold it up in there.
Okay. So I use the edge of the parchment to sort of scrape a little bit
Okay.
off and onto it, and I twist it up.
Is this also something I can do?
Thank you. You mend it right back onto my roots. Thanks. Thank you.
Is mending a cantrip?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only reason he's okay with it.
I was thinking if I did an Arcana roll, I could determine whether or not this was something, a byproduct that of a certain spell or item, or I was thinking that vampires in folklore can turn into mist. I don't know if in Ravnica vampires can turn into mist.
Ravnican vampires can. I know Innistrad
They
vampires.
also can fly, though.
Ravnica. There's a.
Mistcutter. Oh, well, that's a Hydra.
I would say there's a. I know that there's a current magic card that depicts somebody mist phasing through bars.
That's right.
That's
knowledge
go ahead and give me an
That's not
Arcana.
knowledge we have. That's knowledge
Yeah.
Jules has. But I do have the ability to determine if that's natural or not.
I was gonna say a nature roll might be good.
Yeah.
I got an 8 on
hold
the
up the
Arcana
parchment,
roll
slimy
plus
parchment.
5.
Am I going to
is,
sniff it? Or am
I
going
get
to,
that down off of you.
Yeah, that's way better than I did last time. Let's see.
And Cassia?
Nature check. That is 17.
All right.
Is
so,
that a natural item?
What? Yeah. What?
So
What
definitely this is it is a natural thing. It is like a slime or goo that you might get off of a like a hagfish sort of slime, if you're familiar with that.
Okay, so hagfish slime. What the frig is a hagfish doing in the window of the Azorius chamber room thingy.
It can have wings, right?
It's a fish.
Is it good on toast?
I don't see the problem.
Is it good on toast?
Are you going to try and eat it?
No. Gardon wants to know if it's good on toast.
Gardon, are you tasting the goo?
He might. Yeah, he'll
Lick it, determine if it's poisonous.
Okay. Give me a con
Don't
check.
lick it.
Sure, yeah. You said that to her.
Told her not to lick it. You
I
didn't
didn't
tell Gardon
realize
not to
I
lick it.
needed to from all of you.
Con, you said?
Yeah.
That's a 16.
All right.
She's not
so
probably have to tell
it
them
is
to eat
not
things. That's
particularly
probably true.
appetizing.
That's probably true.
It probably would not be
Spits
good
it
on
out.
toast, but you don't take any damage.
It's very much sort of a.
Spit it out. Yeah, it's a little taste.
Not good for toast?
If I keep it
Not good for
outside
toast.
of my mouth, I don't have to like.
Does it have other
taste
application?
it?
That doesn't have other applications. Would I know
Does it-
that?
Is it like? Does it have a color or like a tinge to it or anything?
It's a greenish goo, slick.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
slimy.
I mean, so here's the thing. You have a bug dog, right?
Yeah.
Who says there can't be a flying hagfish?
In this situation, hell yeah.
But if someone was
Now you
using
want one, right?
Look, that's neither here nor there.
But what
you
use?
do.
But what use is fish?
You know we can't afford
Slime.
another pet friend.
hagfish slime is extremely useful. It can be extracted from the hagfish to serve all sorts of lubricant purposes. A hagfish can tie itself into a knot. Does anybody use hagfish slime professionally? And that's what I was hoping to find out with my Arcana check.
All right. I'm
Do I
gonna
know
hold
that?
on to this twist of slime parchment.
Okay.
And I tuck it into a belt pouch.
Given that it's lubricant, but it can be used for lubricant, and it's on the bars.
Yeah.
Maybe someone used it to like shimmy their way in.
Yeah, or out.
Don't get to shoot. And if you come and look at
The
my
explosion could have been a distraction.
Yeah.
Can Gardner look for footprints? Is there like like dust anywhere, like from the possible explosions that we determined? Is there
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
other than our own? Because now thinking about this, maybe that somebody had to be here. You want perception?
Yeah, perception.
But now I can't. Because I charged without.
Yeah, so there's a lot of footprints. Your detect magic did see a stasis spell had been placed to preserve the evidence. But even so, the number of people who've been in here in the last 2 days
Yeah.
have made it difficult for you to discern, what those footprints might exist.
Do I have better perception than you do? Should I give it a try?
If you'd like.
You need to cooperate, or you're going in Amanda's bad dice box.
It's
Understood?
welcome to join my my purple die here.
I have a legit dice prison, if you would like.
All right, there we go.
I'm
20.
okay. I'm okay.
Ah, okay. So, whereas
The threat
Garden is sort of tromping around, looking and not doing a very good job, you are able to, you look through the footprints a little bit closer, and you see that there are several human and elf-shaped footprints. There's some giant Loxodon footprints. And there are some rather strange, small, thin footprints that are not a species that you recognize.
And you know lots of species.
Hey, friends. Have any of you ever seen footprints like that? Because I have had many things follow me home, and that I have followed home, and none of them have ever looked like that.
And they appear bipedal.
Okay. All right. So it's not me. Good.
Do I recognize it coming from the Undercity and knowing lots of things that?
Be a nature check.
But I'm looking to see if that form can do what it says. What it sounds like. Because it says
17.
Doesn't seem like chitinous footprints or anything that you recognize from the Undercity.
Creepy crawlers that I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay, all right. I don't.
They're like squidgy, strange.
I've
like-
seen a lot underground, guys. I've never seen this.
Could I take a history check?
Sure,
Does it go to the case? That's what I want.
they do.
We do.
11
They
plus
go to the
5.
case and they go to the window. and they go to the front door. The door that's been smashed off its hinges.
Do they go through the front door?
They do not.
Pretend.
Out the window.
In the door, out the window.
My history check would be a 16. Does that tell me
Doesn't
anything?
go outside door.
Yeah, but people have been walking around there. Yeah?
I'm sorry, Amy?
My history check would be a 16. Would that tell me anything?
So, for the most part, you as a Vidalcan from the Izzet would normally not associate a lot with unnatural simic creations. However, your partner
Oh, me.
in your research has led you to interact with the simic periodically. This could well be the footprint of a modified human or elf.
Okay.
Okay, I share that knowledge.
Okay. Okay.
Little elf.
There you go.
So should we, like, they know someone who might have made this, or should we go, we can come back.
Yeah.
They've gotta,
Yeah.
they're gonna hold this scene like this for a while.
3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. And I have a question for the guards. I get one of those gentlemen's attention. And
Yeah?
what became of the people who were on guard the night this happened?
Oh, well, you know, everybody has a regular route, right?
Right.
And you could probably find out who was on guard that day, and I'm certain that, you know, somebody higher up than me could arrange an interview.
Oraf. We'll ask Oraf that.
Are the guards Boros or Azorius?
Boros.
Okay. Okay, I'll thank him and.
Would they know their shift mates?
Sure.
So,
Can I say from a side?
do you know who was on guard at that point?
Let me think. So, that was 2 days ago. So I wasn't on shift then. I was pretty hungover the next day because there was that big, like, there was a Rakdos troupe of acrobats that were doing their thing and I was drinking but I think maybe Grood was on shift that day. Grood?
Rude. Thank you very much.
Where were those Rakdos performing?
Oh, you know, the courtyard?
The one right down
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There was a big
Really?
thing. They, you know, they were doing their Rakdos, and it was this, oh, we're gonna make things fall down, and oh, we're like hilarious. And there was this one guy who like climbed up and like jumped off a tower and didn't die, and oh man, it was hilarious.
You didn't say. Didn't I even?
Well, you know, I thought if he climbed up that high and jumped off, it would be hilarious, because you know how the Rakdos are, right? And
do.
They fall down, they
Death
go
is
splat,
entertainment.
and it's, oh man, I love that. But no, this guy, he climbed up the tower, and then he leapt off, and it was like fish wings, and he went whoo, and landed, and he was fine.
Fish wings, like a flying fish. Huh.
Was he
So
slimy?
you think that's funny?
Well, I mean, can
Yes, it
be.
is.
Okay. Alright. It's a study I'm doing.
Study, I don't do a lot of that. Nope,
It's
just follow orders, me.
So you watched the Rakdos performance thing. There's this fish wings.
Oh yeah.
Was this fish wing person a big person? Or skinny? Or
Well, I mean, Yeah, I wasn't paying that much attention.
You're drunk.
Maybe a little.
That's okay.
That happens.
We're not going to hold that against you.
Rakdos
I wasn't on shift.
Yeah, no.
No harm, no foul, my friend. So, if you saw that guy who didn't die again, would you recognize him?
Sure, he was weird.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
I just don't know if I can save
Cool.
sideboard or not.
That's awesome. You've been really helpful.
Oh, thanks.
But like,
You've been great.
What's your name?
We're gonna mention that in our report.
Oh, good. I need more commendation.
What's your name?
Fregu. Fregu.
Fred. Got it. Yeah, he said it wrong on purpose. I said it wrong on purpose. He didn't.
It's fine. I know you said it wrong, and I decide not to correct. I take my own notes.
Fred helpful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take her dog.
All right. So, do we want to try and track down the guard who's on duty?
Let's do on the way out. Let's speak to Orov again, the Loxodon. He'll know.
He'll know about that.
Really good idea.
Do we want to get going?
Yeah, I think we probably.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, while the party heads down to talk to Orov some
well,
more,
that's a wall.
I think we're going to take a short break.
All right.
So, hey, folks in chat, don't go away. We're going to be gone for maybe 15 minutes or so. Everybody do some self-care, be good to yourselves, and
Stretch,
when
drink
we
water,
return, we'll talk to Orov and continue our search for the Eye.
It says suckers wrong.
The Eye of Azor. Be back.
Whoop whoop.
I just found out on my back.com. You should definitely spend.
Welcome back. Welcome back to our first of several sessions for the Ravnica adventure campaign that we're running at Battleground Games and Hobbies. Before the break, our group of adventurers had been mistaken for an inspector and decided to take on his job instead. and have gone in search of the missing Eye of Azor, a staff that is important to the Azorius Guild, and that they are trying to get back within the next 2.5 days now that you guys have been wandering around for half a day or so. And when last we left the group, you had inspected the site of the crime where the theft had taken place, had talked to a somewhat dim guard, and...
He was very helpful.
Fred.
Yes. Fragu. And determined that you wanted to talk again to...
Orov.
Orov, yes. Pontiff Orov, the bespectacled Loxodon. So, shall we resume?
Yes.
Bless you, random stranger.
Goodbye, chat.
Miss you.
So, you return to Orov's chamber, and he's sitting there writing ledgers or, reviewing notes. And he looks up as you enter. Oh, it's you guys again.
Pontiff, we had a question or two for you. We were told that a fellow named Grood was the guard on duty that night. What did become of the guards on duty? What were they hurt? What did they see?
So, according to their statements, and he shuffles through his papers a little bit. Here we are. So, Grood says he was walking his route through the hallways, and there was a loud explosion. He immediately ran to the room, found that the door had been blasted open, and notified his superiors right away, placed a guard on the chamber, and determined that somebody had broken in and removed an item. That's all the information that we were able to get for his interview.
What time was it that when you said that happened?
So it looks as if, looks through his notes a little bit more, it looks as if this was during the early dawn hours. So just after the beginning of the shift.
And you say he posted another guard at the chamber.
Well, yes, I mean, the door was already broken,
Right.
had already been removed from its hinges.
Did he go inside as soon as he got there?
According to my notes, he inspected the room to determine if anything was missing. When he saw that the display case had been opened, that's when he immediately went to his superiors.
Who was the guard that he placed at the doorway?
Check my notes here. Looks like it was a little elfin lad named of Orn, E-O-R-N. We always have them work in tandem, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any alarm spells or anything on the display case for the eye?
There were alarm spells on the door, which naturally notified people as soon as it had been damaged.
Right.
To the best of my knowledge, there were no alarm spells on the case itself.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
There were none set inside the vault. To any motion detecting spells, anything like that.
Well, I don't believe that was necessary. I mean, clearly there's only the one entrance through the door.
Right.
So if the door was disrupted, I mean, the entire tower has various wards to prevent apparition or, magical entry.
What about the window?
Well, it's a very small window.
There are very small people.
And the tower would protect the window.
I mean, not even a
wards.
goblin could get through that window.
Have you tried?
Like shoving a goblin through the window?
I mean, why not?
Sounds amusing
Science.
to me. Well,
There
Gardon does laugh at that as well.
there
Should we Did we show him
The slime?
the goop that we found?
Yes. Let's show him that and say this substance was found on that very small window.
So I take it out of my pouch and I open up I untwist the parchment and
He inspects it, sniffs it.
Don't lick it.
How odd.
Hagfish slime.
Very odd.
And in speaking with your guard, he said he was present at the Rakdos spectacle that was taking place in the courtyard that night, and he said he saw some sort of acrobat,
fish
Acrobats.
with fish-like wings,
Yeah.
climb the tower and fall off it, throw himself off it.
Yeah, jumped
Jumped.
off.
Yeah.
Didn't die.
Didn't die from that.
Which is unusual for Rakdos because they like that sort of thing.
But he had fish wings.
He had fish
He
wings.
had fish wings, and this is hagfish slime that was on
Interesting.
the window of the tower that he climbed.
Were
Looks at
the
his notes again.
Rakdos hired to come perform, or did they just show up? Because they do that too.
I do have a note here that we had to call a phalanx of Boros to drive a Rakdos troop who was performing unlicensed in our courtyard that very night.
So bad. We don't approve, obviously.
No.
But we want to talk to them.
Yeah, did we get the name of that troop? Were they arrested?
I have their arrest records right here. They were
Good.
arrested for disorderly conduct, paid a fine, and
But here's the thing.
their troop was known as Gobs and Jibs.
Gobs and jibs?
I can turn a pistol. I can't turn my whole arm.
God's of what? I wonder.
Standing right there.
No, wait, no, don't have to
Sounds
wonder.
gross. We don't need to know.
I'm literally standing in one triangle. You saying like this and moving my arm like this is kind of
It's okay, I figured it out.
So they've been released then?
They have
paid a
been
fine.
released.
Anyone know anyone in Rakdos?
Did the arrest warrant have any information about them? Like maybe where they're staying, who they're staying with?
Could we ask the Phalanx if you don't have that information?
Well, I believe,
Not that I want to go deal with the board.
I mean,
check and see if they left a forwarding address.
Excellent.
but also, let's be real, it's the Rakdos. They're not a stealthy bunch, really, as a general. They're not they're not quiet.
Yeah.
Spectacle is really sort of the defining feature.
There's so many of them.
It's true. That's true.
I won't mind chatting with them though.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll
they've
find
got
some-
an interesting perspective on the world.
They talk a lot.
They do.
So
Yeah.
I believe they have a headquarter in the blister coils.
That checks out, doesn't it?
I moved them in because I was hoping to stop this guy from shooting, so I could then just go to melee.
The blister coils?
So now he's still gonna get some shot from me.
The blister coils is a region mostly known for ISID experiments and explosions.
We're already going to be heading there.
Yes. So that checks out. Does anyone else have any questions?
Where did you get it?
For Olaf?
Fred deserves praise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This is very helpful.
Super
Fregu
helpful.
is incredibly helpful.
Fregu.
Fregu.
You'll excuse our
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
suffers from pronunciation difficulties.
I'll make a note to provide him with some form of commendation.
Also,
That'd be great.
I kind of huff myself up a little bit and make my more Centaurian form more obvious. The Ravnica Accessibility Council would like a word with you about the number of stairs that lead to that chamber.
Well, I mean, we don't get that many Centaur visitors, and we have actually inspected the exact height of the stairs and determined that they are within regulations. I believe that this is something that has been addressed in the past.
I huff at you. but say nothing more.
You can't argue with you. I like get a whisper. Just can't argue with this one.
It's outweighing the benefit of
We don't have time for that sort of debate, so like maybe later.
Strongly worded letter.
Yeah.
Strongly worded letter. Makes note to make strongly worded letter.
Of course, to guard on, it's just big font with like bold. Please
All caps.
stairs.
Big marker.
Ramps needed.
So that's good though because that.
All right.
Other than that, no, I'm done being feisty.
Okay.
Like I said, they can't.
If I wanted to like chat with you about like
He can shoot him. He can shoot him.
life,
He's vulnerable.
Yes.
He's kind
right?
of.
Never mind. You got important things to do. I'm sure it's.
Absolutely. So much
Yep.
paperwork. Let me get back to it.
Okay,
You want to get drink with him?
No.
So how far away are
I don't
the
have that
blister
sort of
coils?
time.
Yeah, how far are we from blister coils?
So the blister coils are back
there's science to
towards
do.
The northern end of town in Precinct 6.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to backtrack a little
You
ways.
get on.
Okay.
I like science.
Are we getting another cart?
I know you
Is
do.
it far enough that it necessitates a cart, or can we walk the distance in a reasonable amount of time?
So,
Like under 2 hours.
yeah, it's...
I get that. I'm just saying, like,
It would probably be getting on towards night if you headed there right now and walked.
Hey, Harmatu. This person that you know, who might know about the big booms,
Yeah.
they work in the nighttime, or are they more of a daytime sort of operation?
All hours, really.
Yeah,
However,
serious.
I
Sounds like he
certainly.
is it.
Yes, I think there's likely to be someone there if we turned up.
Rakdos get going that time of night.
Yes.
True.
So
We could split up.
most of the time. But what I'm saying.
could, or we could hit like the lab or whatever, the fireworks place, whatever.
Headquarters.
First, and then go.
Yeah, because by the time we're done with the lab, the Rakdos will be kicking off.
Exactly.
Okay.
And easier to spot.
Could even bring them a present.
Present?
What are we going to give them for a present?
Eggs.
Explosives?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not eggs.
No fluoride.
Exploding eggs?
Oh, can I
Floating
make those? I can
know
make
we
those.
didn't ask.
Well, you spent about 100. So you got
Okay,
about
I bet I can make exploding eggs.
400.
I bet you could.
Okay. Okay.
When you say make,
Fashion or produce?
Don't worry about it.
that's what. You know what? Never mind. It's okay.
Don't worry
It's
about it.
fine.
We're just going to not worry about that.
Yeah, that's
Gordon don't want to know.
no,
It's okay.
The floor eggs weren't yours, right?
no.
Even if they were fish friend, I would not judge you.
Awkward.
Because they were really good. Never mind. So we're heading for the blister coils.
Yes.
Okay. So, taking a cart or walking?
If it would save time, and I should think we would take a cart.
Okay.
So then 300 zips. And we can, when we get there, we could let Almunda, do you want to let Almunda know what we've done so far?
And ask for more money, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say, transport around the city to make sure that we can talk to everyone in a timely manner.
Is expensive.
Yeah.
3 days, not a lot of time.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so you, as you're trundling along in the cart, you pull out the speaking coin. And she goes, yes, hello.
Yes, madam, we have an update for you, and I will give her a precise explanation of what we found, trying to avoid the words Eye or Azor so that the nosy cab driver will not understand exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. She says, well, sounds like I came to the right people, person.
Definitely.
even though you were the wrong ones. But very well. I'm pleased that you've made such progress.
We are a highly trained group of individuals.
Right, wrong, people.
Yes, our only trouble so far is that it is rather expensive to get around the city at this rate of speed, and we will require further funds. However, we are certain that we can trust to your mercy in this matter.
So, you're asking for a per diem?
For cabs, mainly.
To make sure that we can get this done in a timely fashion.
Qualify it.
Very well. I believe that there is funds in the budget. This is an urgent matter, and you have actually produced results. I will arrange for an additional 500 zibs to be delivered to you tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much.
It's pretty good.
And I guess we'll click it off on this.
Okay. So, where are you going first?
To the lab of this maker that I know.
Okay. So, it is also in the blister coils, because this is a district full of manufacturers. And as you approach, you hear various poppings and explodings going on. There's a little bit of smoke coming out through the windows, and there's considerable blackening above the windows to indicate that this smoke is a frequent occurrence and not an unusual thing. And you come up to the workplace of Cardor.
Cardor.
No, the C or K?
With a K.
There's a C, that would be a problem.
I mean, they don't have cars in Ravnica.
I was gonna say this is not Kaladesh. We haven't invented cars yet.
So it has a really interesting sort of blackened sign out front that says Cardor's Kabooms, and has a picture of something exploding.
I wonder what they make in here.
No, I know.
Kabooms.
I know who this is. Do they know who I am? It doesn't seem
Yeah.
likely. They do? Oh, they do. Oh, good.
Well, they probably know you by reputation.
Okay. So, do they have a shop as like a storefront where you can go in and look at what they have?
Yes.
Okay.
So as you approach, you see in through the door, there's several goblins scurrying about, and one sitting behind a counter, and they're inserting materials into various devices, and the explodings and poppings and boomings are coming from a back room.
Okay.
It's off the main floor.
Okay. Then I will greet whoever I see in a friendly fashion and look around at the items that they have displayed, because I want to see if I can see a scarab, that something that looks like it might have been this thing before it exploded.
Okay. So primarily it looks like they're involved in the production of Boros arms.
Okay.
The Boros guards do use non-lethal explosives at times, flashbangs, that sort of thing, to subdue crowds, and they're producing a lot of that sort of stuff. They also have a brightly colored display to one side, celebratory explosions, and it has an illustration above it, a painting showing like stuff flying out like a Roman candle out of a staff end.
Huh.
I wonder if it isn't a celebratory explosion, because although that wouldn't be a good, it wouldn't be, it would perhaps only a one strong firework would be enough to do that damage that we saw, and it would be something that it would be natural for Ravnos to buy, and no one would be the wiser.
But not match Scarab.
But that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for, the scarab. If it was a scarab, would be a attractive thing to say throw in the air and cause a giant explosion. But I don't find one, do I?
There doesn't appear to be
Okay.
anything scarab-shaped on the shelves.
Okay.
The
Custom
goblin behind the counter sees you looking and says, what can we help you with? Hello?
Oh,
Yes?
hello! Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you. We were wondering if you ever did, by any chance, custom orders?
Oh, through all variety of various manner of explosive devices, contraptions. What is it that you need to build?
We were thinking the most adorable thing. I had my friend here from the Golgari, just loves beetles, adores beetles.
I do. And I summon my little pet beetle to come out on my shoulder.
And we're throwing
That one right there. Isn't that cute?
We're throwing an enormous party soon, and we were wondering if it would be possible to get little explosives
It's
shaped
small.
like beetles.
It's smaller than the bug dog.
It's small.
It like
it
takes
is-
a step away.
It's a little.
It's okay, Gardy. He's a friend.
His name is Uz.
You are requiring artisanal explosives.
Yes, yes. Do you make anything like that? Little scarabs, little creatures you can throw up in the air that might make bangs.
Oh, you're asking for exactly the flight banger that we have manufactured for who's that? And she sort of looks around. Oh well, that was a couple of weeks ago, anyways.
Was it?
Weeks ago.
Did it happen to be for like, I don't know, some performers or anything? Like, was there anywhere we could see them in use?
Yeah, would we have maybe seen it? I know, there are the various carnivals around town that the Rakdos like to throw. Would we maybe have seen it with one of those?
Well, obviously our explosives are extremely popular with all manner of entertainers.
Yeah. Cool.
How much would one of those cost us?
So we could absolutely manufacture something like that for as little as 500, down payment of 250 zips.
I'm thinking, and I would take you guys aside and say, I'm thinking if we were able to show them just exactly what it was, then we would have more evidence. Say this is exactly what exploded there. However, we do have 300 zibs right now. Do you want to make this purchase, or do you want to come back in the morning?
Maybe we can make that a trade.
Trade.
We have. I don't know that. I don't think much.
I don't think we have very much.
I ate all the floor eggs.
Okay.
Cardone is sad about this.
So, how many would you be requesting?
I'm sure
And
there'll
she
be
takes
more.
out her ledger. Let's see. It looks like we can offer you a deal if you're getting more than a gross.
So we'll just take home the one for now and see how it does, and then tomorrow we can perhaps come back for more. And
Manufacture of such a device then would take at least 2 or 3 days.
So you don't have any on hand right now. I tell you what, we can come back in the morning and get more with more cash on hand. Thank you very much for your time.
Shall I take her name?
Yes, and I give it because I'm likely to be known there, and it wouldn't be it would be yeah.
And she gets a sort of a look. She's like, that one. Okay.
That one. Do I know what they mean by that one?
You have a reputation amongst the Izzet. Primarily because you do less with explosions and more with studying, and your study is more esoteric than the average Izzet mage. This is why you're not at the university and why you're living in a sort of destitute situation, is that in your academic pursuits you have perhaps not been commercially viable.
Capitalism.
Yeah. And so I explained they're not going to remember me as someone who gives remarkable parties, or attends remarkable parties, or has ever been to a party.
Parties are overrated, is what I've heard. And
Sounds like we should throw a party.
Yes, perhaps
We should still throw one.
maybe when we have more money.
Yes.
That seems like probably a good plan. When we solve this, we can celebrate.
Yes.
But okay, yeah, not gonna give you any trouble over that. I know what it's like to not be wanted. So
They give the sort of look like when people are trying not to look sad they really are.
no, I feel you. It's okay. It's okay.
So, although, so having seen this, we, I guess there's nothing else. I'm not saying this, but I guess there's nothing else for us to see here. We know that we can get this thing, and we decided not to spend the money right now. So I guess we can head down towards finding the Rakdos.
Okay. It's around dinner time-ish right now. Your stomachs are beginning to gurgle, and people are starting to come out into the streets.
Is there any like street food?
So yes, there's absolutely some sausage vendors.
I was gonna ask if there's any sausage, because
you see
I don't
some
think they have
sausage
alley
of
eggs.
questionable repute.
Questionable. That's probably bad.
I live in the Undercity like most of the time, so questionable repute is like par for the course. Is there anything that could be had for 10 zips?
Sure. You know, they might have to dust it off a bit. And
Dust gives it flavor.
okay.
It's like added seasoning.
Yeah.
But seasoning come from plant.
Dust can be plant matter.
Pollen is dust.
Fair.
Yeah.
So you find a vendor.
Okay.
It's called Sausage in a Pane, and it's obviously an Elvish reference. And you get your sausage in a pane.
Yeah, I do.
For like 10 zibs.
It'll probably cause me pain later, I'm sure.
It's like, an extra 2 zibs for some extra sauce?
The sauce is where they kill
Special
you.
sauce? Special sauce? Special sauce for your sausage?
I'm like looking in my belt pouch, and I'm looking in all the little pockets in my belt pouch. I'm like, nah, it just had to be the sauce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm not taking any sauce on this. I just want like the meat that a thing that looks identifiable insofar as sausages do.
I break off a piece and I offer it to Garth.
I get my own. Thank you, though.
Well, you're so generous with the eggs.
I
so.
appreciate it.
So that's 50 zibs for all of us getting sausages.
I had
that's coming out
a
of-
few of my own zibs.
Oh, okay.
So
I think I do too.
Okay, so then that didn't take any of our money then.
Yeah, no. Take it out of mine.
I mean, we're down to our last few zibs, is what you said at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
You had a few.
I kind of figured that like we had a few.
You didn't have enough to pay rent. But
But
yeah.
we could eat, and we're on this job now, so
We can dig
So
into
as
the
you're-
a
profile.
couple of zips for a piece
Eating your
of sausage and a
sausages.
pane.
He
And
gets extra sauce.
oh, you get the extra
he gets
sauce.
the extra
It's
sauce.
super spicy.
How is
like,
it?
So spicy. Your eyes are running. Your nose
yes.
is running.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Clear
I didn't do
sinuses.
that.
Yeah.
Hold on, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm not crying. You're crying.
I just stuck something in my eye. Tears.
Special sauce.
So here's the thing: we don't really do spices down underground because,
You don't have them?
right? And so I'm just curious, what you like that?
Sometimes.
Hurt with the.
It's good hurt.
Okay.
It's a good hurt.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
But like, too much hurt is bad.
All right.
Yeah, too much is still bad, but
A
there's
little bad is good.
Can I-
But too much bad is bad.
Can I just try like a tiny? I'll break
Yes,
off
yes.
a piece of the bun and like try a tiny bit of the sauce.
You see, and it's an adaptive mechanism. Plants develop these chemicals in order to repel people from eating them. However, it is also an adaptive mechanism to learn to enjoy such things, and therefore we are in a balance.
Yes.
It's like when grown-up tells you don't drink ale, you drink ale anyway. In defiance. Except plants.
Drain entire tankard.
All right. So as you're having this conversation, and Gardor sort of barely able to see as you're walking along, and the shield on his thing, it's not burst into flame. The tree is wilting on his shield.
He doesn't even notice. He's like not even looking.
Go down your tree.
Like leaves are dropping off of it, and it's sort of.
Are you okay?
I'm good. Yes. Yeah.
Do you want?
Might need bathroom soon.
Do you want something from my herbalism kit? I could probably solve that. Any of those.
Maybe. What's wrong with tree? Oh, tree. Could be a problem.
Can I take a sample of that from my poisoner's kit?
Towards dark, the sun is beginning to set, and you're hearing like the sound of a crowd off in the distance. You see like spiraling fireworks, and the sound of cacophonous music.
We go to party?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Head towards party.
No one throws a party like Rakdos party.
Ain't no party like Rakdos party.
Does Rakdos party stop?
No.
Never.
And you come around the corner, and there's a sort of a clearing, and a group of goblins has made a sort of ring, and are erecting a scaffold. And they're constructing this thing, and it's getting higher and higher, and they're playing, silly music as they do it, and periodically one will climb up and leap off, and sometimes some of them will catch him, and sometimes they won't, and the crowd goes, "Ooh!" And maybe throws some coins at them. There's one running around with a helmet, gathering coins from folks.
Do we take or put money in?
Neither.
Neither of those. We're not going to do that.
Definitely don't take unless you want to be next off that scaffolding.
Don't do it.
And
The
as you
Raptors are
watch,
not above involving the crowd in their antics.
little golden things go and above the crowd, and slowly the tower is getting higher and higher, and it's about 70 feet high now, and sort of beginning to sway a little bit.
That looks structurally unsound.
I feel like the Azorius would have something to say about that, but I don't care. So, question.
Yeah.
My Rakdos goblins.
Not my goblin.
Yeah, right.
Not my homunculus. As these little things are spiraling around and exploding above us, are there any bits coming down after the explosion? Are there pieces? Yeah.
Sort of drifting in the wind. There's little bits and bobs floating away.
Be careful with those. Those are probably very hot. They were recently on fire.
Yeah. Can we try to catch any?
He's definitely gonna try.
Give me a dexterity check. Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand?
Not
Cool. Same for me. That is unfortunately cocked.
14.
That is a 7.
All right, so guard on. Maybe his eyes are still watering or something. He doesn't manage. Avenin catches a little piece out of the air, and it's little like hemispherical piece of hammered metal. Looks like it might have had the shape of a wing at one point.
I turn it over and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to see if there are any markings on it like there were on the piece of scarab that...
It's not in great shape.
Okay.
It has recently exploded.
It's true, yeah.
Is it ribbed like the parts of a beetle, like how beetles are ribbed?
Like, sort of the striations on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
As a fan of Beatles.
And the tower is about 90 feet tall now.
Tuck it in my belt pouch.
And a figure comes out from the center of the goblins and starts climbing up in a little spiral. He's a sort of lanky, wiry individual in a cloak. And he gets to the top and the whole crowd is going, and then he leaps off the tower from like 90 feet up, and he's plummeting towards the ground, and
Fish wings?
about halfway before it reaches the ground,
We're all like holding our breath.
it's sort of like huge expanded gills. They come out from the side of his head and reach down to his sides, and he sort of glides to the ground, lands without hurting himself, and the crowd explodes and throws coins at them, and he says, "Thank you all very much. We have been Gobs and Gibbs."
That's it. That's
the
those
one.
aren't wings. Just point of order.
And he's sort of
Frankie was right, that is weird.
he looks
Thin face.
Yeah, he's very skinny, looks kind of eel-like, but humanoid. He's obviously a Simic thing.
Looks like me.
Well, not like you, but he's been experimented on.
I mean,
Yeah.
All Simic are unique. That's what's really cool about. So that's what I like about you Simic folks is that like you just grab life and then change it. It's very cool.
But he can't be the person or the entity that got through the window, right? He's too big for that. At least as we see him now. He's like more or less human
I mean, he's
size.
humanoid, yeah. He's human
humanoid?
size.
The
Okay.
bars were at
But he
least a
was
foot
skinny, but
apart.
he's- right?
Yeah, he said he's a
Skinny.
goblin-looking skinny dude.
I'm looking skinny dude.
he could.
And
Efficient,
yeah,
right?
if he's slimy enough.
He's definitely, he knows who did it if he isn't the person who did it. Either one.
Is this tower he jumped off maybe at other tower?
Height?
90 feet.
While
How
you guys
tall
are
is
talking,
the
they're
Azorius?
starting to take the tower down.
How tall was the Azorius tower?
Like 3,000 feet tall.
Okay, cool. So did
And how high was the window?
About 300 feet up.
Okay, so yeah, this wasn't okay.
Can we get through the crowd to
To Gibbs and Gobs.
Gibbs and Gobs?
I'm not.
Gobs and
We need to
Gibbs.
think. We need to have a plan
Gobs and
here
Gibbs.
because
I wrote it down.
what we want to do is this person can get away and get out of any situation they want to. We need a plan to apprehend them. Possibly we need backup. I don't know. I don't know if it's something we have to call to Armando to do because this person is probably capable of disappearing in a flashbang.
All we want to do is chat and give our appreciation.
Why don't we try hiring?
With what money?
You're smarter than I gave you credit for.
We want party.
Call Armando with that.
But we could tell. If we told them we wanted to hire them
for a party.
Right, and they didn't demand the money up front, then maybe they could, we could catch them later.
They've almost finished putting the tower away.
We gotta like deal with this now. They're gonna disappear. We gotta at least talk to them.
We
gotta
hire.
make
Yes.
contact.
Yes.
So let's go talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we get through the crowd and go try and catch
Everybody move!
someone from the
Or the Brit Squad!
I am.
catch someone from this troop to like let them know we think they were really great.
Okay.
You have what
So
is
the guy with the helmet comes over to you guys and he's like shaking it.
I will actually give them something just to because if we're being nice now, I want to show willing. Just,
Okay.
A handful of zibs.
Yep.
So you toss some zips in the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
That was amazing. What like
That's
with
that's incredible.
tower?
That's not. How did
and the gills? I've never seen one of you Rakdos performers with that sort of thing going on.
Oh, Slothar, yeah, he's amazing. He's
Slothar.
Slothar, where'd you meet up with Slothar? Because, man,
he came up to one of us one day and he said he had something. He saw us doing our skydiving, which is when we do the dive, and he thought that he could do something better, and man, it's paid off.
it sure has.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that.
You know what? Boy, time's getting late. We gotta get to our next gig.
You guys are performing again tonight?
Oh, and he sort of, obviously he doesn't have a watch, but he looks around and he can see that there's some Boros coming around the corner. It's like, well,
Yeah, don't like him either.
You.
You're performing again. Where can we see you again?
Oh, well, you know.
Gotta catch this again.
We'll be just down the street. Just give us a little bit of time to reset.
Awesome. Thank you so
And,
much.
like,
I gotta see this
They're
again.
rapidly grabbing, like goblins are running up, grabbing planks, hiding them under things. They're sort of glancing at the Boros and like dashing off into the shadows, all in different
Yeah,
directions.
I don't like them either.
It's obvious that they're like a 3-card Monty thing, where anytime the police are getting near, they pack up and disappear as quickly as they possibly can.
Where'd they go?
He said down the street.
Down the street, and they're gonna do it again down there.
And you see Slothar sort of, he's slithering along. Yeah, he's walking, but he's slithering at the same
Sidling.
time. Yeah. Off into the shadows.
All right, so we've got a name. We've got a name now. We know the troop's name.
We can cut the show.
Yeah, we caught the show, and we know that this is their sort of
Do we
this is their territory.
do we find a sort of secluded spot and call
Yeah, let's
the lawbringer?
let's tell her that. Let's tell her who we've got in case something happens to us, and then she'll know we're going to in case.
You talk into the coin, and she's like, "Oh, just a moment. Hello. Yeah, wait. Yes, hello."
Yes. We believe we've apprehended the thief. However, we have not personally apprehended him. We know who he is, and I tell her his name and what he looks like, and I say our plan is to hire him to appear at a certain place, hopefully tomorrow, and we may require assistance in his actual apprehension. He appears to be an extremely slippery character, and that is not a metaphor.
Yeah,
He is,
literally.
Yes. He
Literally
is pretty
covered in
some kind
literally
of
slippery.
Yes.
Well, this is a delicate matter. I don't want to involve the Boros. I don't want to get together like a large phalanx.
Right.
I'm at the. I mean, you have produced results. I appreciate that, but I am not going to be able to produce a lot of. I don't want the scene that
I see.
producing a lot of backup would create.
I see. So, I do believe we have a fair amount of muscle by tonnage. If you cannot assist us, then we will do our very best, and I believe we will be able to bring this matter to a successful conclusion.
At the phrase, by tonnage, Gardon and I look at you and at each other and then back at you.
Yeah, it's not me.
Big bones.
Yes, big bones. Horse butt.
Ooh ha ha.
Yeah.
All right.
So do we try and catch the show further down the street and see if we can hire them, or?
At least talk to Slothar.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
Yeah.
suss out how much it costs to hire a Rakdos troop.
Or if they just like to show up and make money, if
And-
we tell them that there'll be an opportunity and we can maybe get them a license.
Yeah.
What if we could convince Orov
Yeah.
to issue a provisional license, knowing that we're trying to catch?
Right, because we don't want the Azorius or the Boros swinging in and shutting it down in the middle of our attempted
So
investigation.
what if we convince Orov to give us a license for this troop? We tell the troop, we can get a license for you to perform at this party we're throwing.
Right.
We've got a license for an entertainment troupe. You could be that troupe and make money at this party.
At the investiture celebration?
Well, that'll be too late.
Too late.
That's in 3 days.
But there are pre-games. There must be parties before these, before the biggest party. There must be,
Yeah.
there must be cocktail.
Everybody's
habits.
excited about it, so
Yeah,
it's the pre-show, right?
sounds good. I like it.
So invite him to pregame party.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only watch the investiture for the ads.
Yeah.
All right, so
The advertising banners are always really clever.
Actually,
Aren't they?
Incredibly clever.
what is your plan right now?
okay, we want to invite them to a party. Where are we going to tell them this party is?
Warehouse district,
Warehouse District. All
where
right.
we live.
Well,
Are you suggesting we invite the Rakdos celebration into our home?
Our
No.
home isn't big enough. They can't build a tower in our apartment.
Yeah, no, it's not
very
going to fit in there.
short.
They won't fit in our
Inside,
side.
Yeah, I mean, are there
The grain
are there
warehouse-
like public squares or anything
Grain
around where
warehouse,
we live?
highly flammable.
Andy,
Yeah.
are there like public squares or
Popcorn.
anything around where we
Popcorn.
live?
Yes, that's the
There's
problem.
probably some.
Okay. So like that, you know, like that
There's like
square.
watering holes
Yeah.
for beasts because there's beasts of burden that draw the carts.
You know where there's always that like stripy Indric that like its owner never cleans up after it? Yeah. You know that square? Can have a party there.
Funny mushrooms grow there.
They're really good.
You
They're
can
really
make some
good.
really interesting things out of them. Yes.
They make a really nice tea. I've got some dried ones at home. I'll make it for
Nice
you.
cow.
It's got a fruity bouquet.
Okay.
So they down the street now?
Yeah. Are they down the street now? Can we see them sort of setting up, or is it too far away for us to see?
So you don't see them, but you do hear their tootling and the sound of their instruments again.
Two toodles.
Follow the dudes. Got it. Fool the Rakdos dudes where he pleases.
So, do we want to go invite them to this party that we're throwing?
yes.
Yes.
This party
Yes, but good point. Where is party then?
in that
in the
square?
square.
where
Oh,
in that square,
Indric
in that
keeps
square.
cooking.
Right.
In the Indric poop square.
Yeah.
When should we say it is? Can we afford
Tomorrow.
to wait a day to make it less suspicious at night? Because it would be odd for them to be summoned to a party at 8 a.m.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
And that gives us
Yeah.
time tomorrow to like
Set up.
cover our bases, do some more investigation if we want to.
Yes.
Get
yes.
the license so
yes,
the Azorius
yes.
don't come shut us down or the Boros.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, why? So I got a question. If any of us want to try and tackle this. Yeah, the Rakdos like to joke around a whole lot, and those jokes can be involved, but
That's a word for it.
they don't tend to steal stuff.
Maybe that is the joke. The joke is that the Azor will be missing their precious eye. Maybe they did it simply out of spite.
I guess, but they seem more like they would cause an explosion during the investiture. They like their spectacle on display, not up in a tower somewhere where
What
no
if
one
he no
sees
Rakdos?
it and is hushed up.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's my question. Because no offense, Morgana, but
Not
definitely,
you.
yeah, definitely
Not you
more cynic.
personally, but some folks in your guild,
Do
that
you
seems
know any
more their...
other people in your guild that have like left and headed for the Rakdos?
I don't really talk to those people.
Fair.
Sorry.
Yeah, very much in the same way that Hermatu is persona non grata amongst the Is It for not being into explosions enough and being more staid and academic than the Is It always are. You are not with your guild because you're also studying things in a more academic way, or your interest in the nature of the plane of Ravnica doesn't necessarily match with the interest that the Simic have in biological modification.
So I don't really talk to those people anymore.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
You know,
Okay, friend.
I know this may not be
We
like
love you.
the time
Even if your
or
guild
the
is
place,
butts.
but But seriously, if you ever feel like the Simic isn't like the right place, the Golgari welcomed me with open arms. And they love life and living things, and I could put in a good word.
I appreciate that, friend.
If you ever feel like it.
I will let you know.
If you ever feel like fish out of water, that's what she's saying.
Oh.
I didn't
That's a
say
good
it.
one. I've never heard that before.
Of course, he doesn't laugh. I couldn't say it without laughing.
You'll have to pardon Gardy. He's a little
He
means well.
I know. He's
good,
good
though.
natured.
he means well.
Yeah.
I found a home. Okay?
I have a
and
home.
I didn't have a home.
Full of dad jokes.
And
I love
if
really bad jokes.
if you want a home. It may be underground, but they're real nice.
I appreciate that.
But we're your home now.
Yes.
You're mine.
If we get to
You're
keep
my friend.
our house.
That's true. We do need to sort that out
Yeah,
first.
we gotta figure that out.
So we're having to watch this this thing over again, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
starting to build the tower again.
Okay, so
I have a
did
question.
we notice anything?
How do we not afford our rent, but we can afford a laboratory?
Oh, that's a stipend that Harmatu has. That's what they're concerned about is that their funding may dry up if they can't present.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Results.
Okay.
Guild provided versus,
Right.
So having seen this once already,
Yeah.
watching it the second time, do we?
What Easter eggs do we see?
Yeah, right. What did we find?
All right, so you're watching the construction of the construction of the tower, and this is obviously they do this all the time. They're very practiced at it. They each like whip out a piece of wood from under their cloaks, and they have like special snap-on attachments, and they're constructing this thing. And they all have like their positions to go to, except for the sort of milling mob of goblins who are all playing instruments. And you see Slothar is actually they build the tower around him so that he doesn't have his big reveal until a few of them have had a chance to jump off at like the 30 or 40 foot height as they construct the tower. And there's two goblins who have little pouches, and they're reaching into these pouches and throwing things in the air. They go.
Can we get pouch?
Can I sidle up to one of them and see if I can
Yoink something?
well see what they look like before they explode at least.
Sure. So, I mean, it's a big square,
Yeah.
and you're kind of getting a little close, and they're peering at you, but they're not like defensive or anything.
Yeah.
And you see that inside each satchel has a small pile of little golden scarabs, and as they take it out, they push a little button, and it's got little wings that pop out and start flapping, and then they throw it in the air, and it's like those mechanical pigeons. So it flies for a little while, and then it explodes, and little pieces of shrapnel fly everywhere.
I look at one and I'm like, those are pretty awesome. That was a good investment on your part.
Well, it pays for itself, I guess.
Yeah, where'd you get those?
What was the place? Cardors.
Cool. Thanks.
Boom.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Elsewhere.
Good attention getter to draw a crowd.
Should we try? We're going to have to approach one of these and address it as if it was the manager. Should we try to approach Slothar or one of the goblins to make a deal?
Is there someone who looks like they're directing?
Who looks like they're in
building of the
charge?
tower?
So they're all working very independently.
It's a bunch of independent contractors.
Yeah, all sort of swarming around.
Have their little director set.
There's no obvious ringleader amongst this bunch. They're doing their practice dance that they do, repeatedly every day. If anything, If anything, it appears that they're taking their cues from Slothar as they build.
Okay. So we
Because
should try to track him down.
I think we got to talk
Now-
directly to Slothar.
The tower they're building, is it
Yeah.
near other buildings?
No, it's out in a square.
It is literally just out, nothing
Yep.
really around it.
Right. Yeah, it's just a scaffold
Okay.
that they quickly
It's not like in
climb up
between two buildings or something
No.
like that. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So as you watch, they build their tower. They do. It's exactly the same act they did last time, and the crowd is enjoying it and clapping and throwing coins at them and tossing coins in the helmet. And Slothar gets up on the top, and it's waving again, and he leaps off, doesn't die. Goblin comes out in front and says, "Thank you all very much. We have been gobs and jibs." And they all start taking things apart again to move on to wherever they're going next.
So can we
we
try to
catch
approach
Slothar?
Slothar?
Okay, he's sort of directing folks as they go, and looks up as you guys approach, and says, "So what can I do for you folks?"
Hey.
Yes.
Your
Good
act is
show.
amazing.
I like very much.
I've modified it somewhat from its original form.
Oh?
There were a lot more fatalities originally, and the troop had some trouble keeping it together.
Yeah, we noticed you don't go splat.
No, that's part of the appeal of the act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
it's
saw that.
Repeatability.
Yes, that's exactly it. The prior management, unfortunately, did not have that knack.
No, I imagine not.
Seems unique.
I like to think that it is.
Cool. Do you guys hire out for events?
Like, can you be hired to perform in a place?
Sort of gets a interested look in his eye. He says, "I will admit, unlike some of the rectors, I'm more interested in the money than the blood."
Interesting.
Blood belongs in body.
You know that's unusual for Rakdos.
Not exactly. Part of the rector's guild. More of a entrepreneur. So, what exactly are we talking about?
We were gonna throw a party. You know, in the lead up to the investiture and all that jazz. We were gonna throw a party in a square, near where we live, and we're wondering. We just think.
And as you're talking, the goblin with the helmet is coming up and he's sort of shaking. Slothar is sort of quickly counting.
And we just think that your act would make it the party to end all parties.
Yeah. Would really liven up the place.
Yeah.
So, exactly how much are we talking?
How much do you normally make for one performance of this?
I'm not at liberty to divulge that.
All right.
What we can
I
offer.
believe that we can be available for as little as 1,000 Xenos.
That's a lot.
What is it worth to you to have a provisional license to perform as you will without any trouble from the Boros or the Azorius?
And he's looking around and he sees that the Boros are starting to come in, and he sort of points at the goblin, points over at the Boros, and the goblin nods and runs over, drops a few coins in the Boros' palm, in a very subtle manner. He's like, there is some appeal to that. How is it possible that you could offer such a thing?
We might be able to put in a word with the right departments.
And we have remarkable guests at our parties.
Licenses are spectacularly expensive to acquire.
Yes.
Yeah. We know some people.
We know Guy.
He looks at you. and your disheveled clothes, and the weird thing sticking its head out from under your cloak.
Don't worry about him. He's
And
fine.
Yeah, we're playing a killer. This was assassin.
raises a completely bald area where there would be an eyebrow if you had that.
Does anybody have a good persuasion roll?
I do.
No? Okay.
I have very good persuasion roll. Yeah, I got +1 by this roll. I bet you're better than I. That's fine.
I'm an
I have 0.
Make it so.
20.
Oh,
Nicely done.
and what are you saying to him?
It would probably behoove you to take this letter of ours and come work with us.
Do you have something to give him?
No, like
The provisional.
the provision, yeah, like
That's like that's more of a warrant for us to
Alright.
go.
Yeah,
in.
we can't show them that.
It
no.
does actually say
Yeah, warrant.
searching for the
Yeah.
eye on
That's
it.
Yeah, no.
yeah.
About that.
Maybe like
Could
if-
provide him one.
We could provide,
Yeah.
yeah.
A loose
if we
contract.
met
Yeah.
with you tomorrow, we could probably bring it.
That's true, that's true.
And he's sort of glancing around the square. The goblins have started all disappearing down the streets again. He's like, well, we only have 2 more performances to do tonight. What time would you like me to meet with you tomorrow?
Tomorrow night?
No,
Midday,
beforehand.
so we can have
Midday,
yeah.
so we can set
we
it
have
up.
time to set up the party and the evening.
Yeah.
Because we need time to make plans, make sure all of our guests are coming, that we've got
Get your license set up
food,
for
get the
you.
license.
Get fruit platter.
Yeah.
Yes, fruit and vegetable platter.
I forget what amount of the in timekeeping in this universe. I don't know if they go by a 12-hour clock or what, but I would suggest somewhere around what we would call noon.
Okay.
He took 3 months.
Give you some time
So-
to sleep in the morning. I'm sure you'll be tired after the performances this evening.
He would shoot across his head.
Where should I arrange to meet you?
Because
Why don't we give them the address of that square?
Yeah. They can check it out.
no problem having this.
Then you can get an idea of the space in which you'll be working and if it suits your performers' needs and if your structure will, be a good fit.
And you will have a down payment at that time?
I'm going to shoot in front of him.
We'll
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
and we'll figure out the permit.
We'll figure out the details when we come to that time.
Well, you did roll a 20.
I did.
So he says,
Okay, so I'm going to shoot. So can I pick either one
This-
at the same range? Yeah.
seems unlikely to
The
me,
one that doesn't have a melee.
but there is always the possibility that it could be real.
Because I'm going to try and take it.
I will agree to meet you at that time. And at that place.
Fantastic.
But now,
Thank you.
I really must be off. I have another performance.
You do that.
Best of luck.
Do
Have fun.
Skitters off. Into
Break leg.
No breaking.
Don't do that.
No break leg.
Can't mend that.
I never
Not,
bases, 'cause I
not on
heal
a
that.
stage technically, so. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So he skitters off.
It's still pistol one.
Don't break leg.
So the very first thing in the morning we have to do is to be at that be at the Azorius door
Yeah.
to tell them, and we'll tell Almunda first so that she can tell whoever she needs to tell that we're going to do this. Should we try to apprehend him at this time, or?
Well, we don't know that he actually has the eye yet. That's the first problem.
Yeah.
He's in this for the money.
Yeah.
He could have
Probably-
stolen it for someone else.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Like, he
that
doesn't
he'd
seem
probably
like
get a job.
Give him
Or
the
yes.
opportunity to flip.
Yes.
Offer him more money.
That's probably worth some dollars.
That's 1,000 Xenos.
Xeno, whatever.
And I don't think Almunda could get her hands on that kind of money unless she's selling them short.
But maybe we could propose less money because we have the license.
Yeah.
If we can get the license.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not worth it.
Because that's worth a lot of money, as he said.
Yeah.
Right. Do we
So-
know how much a license costs?
We can probably ask.
Probably a lot.
Probably more than what he's asking for a payment.
Probably.
It's more worth him to pay a lot of small bribes rather than one lump sum that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
So if we can get that piece of paper and they could, Almunda could put that through for us, then we could get that to him and tell him what the real price would be. That not a performance, but for him flipping.
So you guys are going to contact Almunda again?
Yes.
Okay. What time is it now? This is in the night or in the next morning?
This is probably still the same night.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I feel like she probably doesn't sleep much.
So you activate the talking cord. She's like, oh, yes, what? Hello again. Yes. What can I do for you?
I fill her in on who this person is and how we intend to get him to see us. And I tell her it is of express importance that we have a license that we can show him, and tell him that we propose to give him this if he will cooperate with us.
Licensing is not necessarily my particular area of expertise. It's not my bullywhack. However, I did provide you with a general note. I realize it was not written for you, but in the absence of the inspector, you can probably use that to acquire such things.
Yes. Thank you very much. We will
Thank
do
you
that.
for keeping me up to date. I really appreciate it.
I asked her when the earliest is. This is a kind of question that would be really irritating to role play, but I asked her when the earliest is that we can find the Azorius office and where we would go to ask for this.
So, I believe if you would speak again with, what's his name?
Orov.
Speak with the gentleman that you spoke with earlier today.
Right. Thank you very much.
Alright, so we go talk to Pontemorov in the morning.
Yes, we'll do that. We will do that.
Okay, so skipping ahead to the next morning.
Yes.
You're heading back to, early in the morning. There's a rapping at the door. Not a heavy knocking as you had the day before. And it is a little goblin in Azorius robes. They don't fit him very well. They sort of hang off of him.
Hey there, little guy.
He has a little pouch and he says, I was told to give this to you.
Thank you, sir.
He provides you with a little pouch and scampers off.
I'm drinking my mushroom tea.
Okay, so that gives us 800 to go on with.
Do you want to try this?
Okay.
So I give it to you
You
first.
guys are having mushroom tea?
Yeah.
I found moss to make.
Do a
Alright.
con check.
I'm gonna die, you guys. Die this early in the morning? 17.
No, okay. So, it's strong stuff. And
Good, right? Good.
Probably for you.
I'll give you, for the next 12 hours, or no, next 4 hours, -1 to your con and +1 to your dexterity.
Oh, alright.
All from my mushroom tea?
Strong.
I get that bonus from it.
You and I are
built up
different
an immunity.
species.
I guess.
You get an immunity
Which
going.
is the fun fact
Yeah,
that this
I've been drinking it for
can
so
back
long,
out a
I've never
horse, but
resisted.
not you.
But hot sauce I just can't tolerate.
No.
So you head off to the Azorius Senate chambers again. I assume you're paying a cab again.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, now we have the funding to do it.
Yeah,
We don't have the time to walk.
Yeah, so that's another 100.
Our time is too valuable to walk.
Yeah.
I've never been so important.
Is this what rich people feel like?
Yes.
Probably.
So
Or at least something like
Pontiff
this.
Orov, you're led up to his office again. He's like, you again. Hello again. Yes.
Still doing our investigation.
We're here because we believe detected the person who committed this theft. We do not, however, believe that he is likely to still have possessed this item or be particularly interested in it. We need
So
to
you need a squad of troops, and you need at least 3 arresting officers.
No.
Too flashy.
No, not yet.
No, too flashy. All we need is a piece of paper, a provisional license, indefinite for a performance for a certain troop. If we can if we can find exactly what will buy this man, then we can find exactly what will get us to the Eye of Azor.
So you're looking for paperwork. Well, that does happen to be my expertise.
We thought it
Well,
might
I came
be.
to
Let me
you.
just find, and he starts going through some files, and he pulls out some papers, and he's like, triplicate, and I'll sign here just for the one performance.
Actually, I was thinking of offering him a month's performance license, so that he would come to, so that he would be more likely to come to us. Something that was more worth his time than what he was paid.
It's something I can do like
Extremely irregular. Extreme.
Yes, well,
Well,
we have been extremely irregular, but we have been successful so far, I think you'll find.
there's multiple.
We more want to make sure we have something to offer in exchange for the information we're going to
I'm
get.
just gonna see if there's.
well, very well. And he writes out the thing, and he pulls out a big stamp and pours some wax. The stamp glows when he presses it.
Nifty.
Present these forms.
So I use my tactical reload.
Thank you.
Save them.
How much would this normally cost?
About 2,000 zips.
I hate
Or 2,000 Xeno.
So this
Thank
is at least worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
when someone's like, oh, just read them on my.
So this is great. I think, if not now, then definitely later. I want the strongest one of us to have this this item, because I would rather him not try to steal it. I don't. That may be something we can sort out
Might
later.
be me. Probably.
16, I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, no, I have 16 too.
Yeah, so one of us.
It's one of us.
One of us. Gobble gobble.
It not you.
Thanks was my dog.
Yeah, actually, probably Gardon.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
So is there anything else that we need in the Azorius area? I don't think there is.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. In that case, we'll thank him
to take
kindly.
another look, but I
Or
got
did we
what I
did we
wanted.
want to talk to the guard that was on duty at the time?
Yeah.
Both Garud and
Aeon.
Aorn, we didn't get Aorn's report. Let's see if we can't find him or find his report.
Is Aorn around?
Let me check the schedule. Check the schedule.
travel paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. It's much paperwork. I believe that you will find him in the barracks at this time.
Okay. We can check that.
Yeah, we're gonna go have a word with him, just see if he noticed anything interesting, smells or anything like that. And thank you.
Very
Thank you very much for all of your help. You've been fantastic.
No, you produced far more results than all the other investigators on this, so I'm quite pleased with your performance so far.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You see, this is what
Peculiar as you are.
an unorthodox approach yields you different results.
Okay, so you go off to the barracks, and Aorn is a quieter little elf. You ask of his commanding officer at the door, and he sort of points him out, and he's sitting on his cot reading a book, and he glances up as you guys approach, and you can see
You guys like books? You could ask him about it. You guys like books?
Is it a book in Elvish that I wouldn't be able to read the title of?
no, oddly enough, it is in common. It is a pulp novel. It looks like it's very cheaply manufactured. Says the adventures of Inspector Abode in the realm of the Black.
Yeah, so you roll. That's toughness.
I haven't read that one before. Is it good?
He looks up at you and says, "Oh, he's so clever. You know, I've read like all 20, and every time, so clever."
Yeah.
Really? So what's this one?
Oh, so this was his last adventure, and I haven't reached the end, but he's inspecting something to do with these mutant hounds from underground, and he's just about to face off with his rival on the waterfall.
If you're double, if you're not double.
I see.
Mutant hounds, huh?
Oh, yes.
From like the Undercity?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got this.
Like Nibbles?
No.
You have these dogs?
Oh yeah.
How many do you have?
I mean, not me personally, but like we had a couple at the monastery. We keep a couple as guard dogs.
Have you guys read his books?
No, I haven't, but I've been hearing a lot about them.
We've heard good things.
Oh, yes. Like I said, he's very clever. Yeah, the doctor, I don't know where she works, but she writes these pretty regularly.
Oh, I see. Do you remember her name?
Well, it's right there on the book.
What are you attacking with?
It's Jin Weredottir. JINWEREDOTIR.
Says it gets -1. So when it hits, right? So you would have only hit once, but it's kind of irrelevant. It's played out that way. Just keep it in mind.
That was
I remember him
something.
saying it was -1.
So
Right. So
here's the thing.
they sell cards.
We're here investigating that ruckus that happened up in the tower.
That was so weird.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was doing my normal rounds with Gurud, and somebody do a perception check.
Not me.
That's not a Gordon thing. He listens.
Nope.
I have a +1.
Alright, hold
I
on.
can do. Where am I? Oh, fuck.
That was a no.
I got.
I got an 11.
got an 8.
Insight he can do. Perception, not so much.
Well,
I got.
do insight.
Wait, I
okay.
can't
I can
do
do insight.
math. That's what I'm struggling with. I got 18, but I don't know +5.
That I can do. Oh yeah, that I can do.
23.
That's a dirty 20.
A 20 and
11.
11? 23. All right, so the two of you, you get the sense that he is not entirely truthful about doing his normal rounds.
That pretty much immediately.
And then there was this loud noise, and we ran down the hall, and we saw that the door had been busted in, and I was left there to guard, while Grood ran to tell somebody that apparently the eye had been stolen, but we didn't see anybody coming down the hall when we were running up there. Nope.
So, friend, here's the thing. When we looked, when we investigated the tower, the door was busted from the inside out, not the outside in.
No, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make
They
any sense.
didn't bust the door in, they busted it out. The explosion was from the inside.
You see, small pieces go direction explosion not from.
But then
They explained to me.
Yeah.
Alright, so
And you stayed standing there in front of the door the whole time. You didn't go in.
Well, I mean, we both went in, and
Uh-huh.
Grood quickly looked around,
Yeah.
and he said that the eye was missing,
Uh-huh.
and then he went to report, and I stood guard.
And you
And
saw
you-
no one.
No one. Well, until the inspectors arrived.
Right.
Which part did I feel like he was untruthful about? The they were doing their normal thing bit?
They
Or
were doing their normal rounds bit. Is the bit where
did you see show?
show? There was a show.
Aaron,
no, I know that.
Yeah.
we're not your boss. We're not here to bust your chops.
Yeah.
We just want to know what happened.
Hit on all.
Do a persuasion check.
Oh, I'm not going to do well with that. I'm going to try anyway.
Can I be
I don't
intimidating
like
to
the
assist with this?
Oh yes, do a bit intimidation.
They're hypocrites.
So
Oh, that's not going to go well.
That's a
8.
that's a 15.
15 intimidation.
Yeah.
So he shrinks back a little bit, and he's like, "Well, Groot told me not. Well, but okay,
Groot
we
told you not.
we weren't at our stations. We were watching the show, and then we heard this explosion, and that's why it took us so long to get to the door, and that's why we didn't see whoever it was run away."
Got an important question for you.
Yeah.
So you were watching the show,
Yeah.
right? Did you see who jumped off the tower?
So they were there for a while, and they set up this tower.
Yep.
And this guy jumped off. Well,
pretty cool.
bunch of things jumped off.
Yeah.
You know, the goblins jump off, and they didn't do very well sometimes.
It's their whole shtick.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, and then there was the long guy, and he like jumped off and he didn't die. And then they moved the tower over to another corner, and a bunch more goblins jumped off, and then they moved it over to another corner, and a bunch of it was
Did the guy who didn't die, did he jump again after that first time?
I don't think so.
I made a kill with him.
Okay. Okay.
There was lots of explosions though. There were a lot of. They had these little things, woo, and then boom. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen those. They're pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Not with us.
Not with us.
Not from us.
You must buy Fred a drink.
A lot of weird things in this game.
Frigga.
It's also for
Oh,
Yeah.
Fregu. I know him. Okay. Why?
Because you messed up. That's how you repay us for not telling.
Okay.
Do good to Frigga.
All right.
Is Groot around?
I think he's on patrol with somebody else.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Can't get back my book.
Yes.
I want to know how this ends.
Yes, and you know what? We'll come talk to you later about it. We're gonna start reading.
Okay, cool.
We start book club.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will start a book club with you.
He goes back to his book.
So now we go find Groot, I guess.
Do we want to? Do we feel like we need to?
I don't know that we
probably
need
don't,
to.
yeah.
We've
yeah.
gotten the
That's what
gist.
I like about the Boros. They're all righteous about following the law, and then here are these guards just sneaking off to watch the Rakdos.
How would you get to window?
There were lots of explosions.
Right?
He's good at climbing.
And
Flat
because
surface.
they're busy.
Just because he's slippery doesn't mean he can't also be sticky.
Yeah, you felt that stuff.
It's weird, right? Yeah.
Sticks to insides.
Yeah, no.
I told you not to lick it.
Told you not to.
Oh
It's not good on toast, we've determined.
no.
Had to know.
0 to 10 would not recommend for toast.
Yeah. You had to see for yourself. Yeah. So do we want to go try?
Go set up for meeting.
Yeah, I think it's
I
time
want
to have the meeting.
to check something.
Okay.
Can we go to the outside of the tower
Okay.
and look around for traces of slime?
Yeah.
All right. Who's good at being observant, or do you guys want to use any sort of spells?
It depends on whether you're going to ask for
I have an
investigation
investigation.
or
Theoretically, I have good
perception.
I have good perception.
I have good investigation.
Just not that last roll.
So go ahead.
My investigation is not terrible. But usually yours.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Nat 20 over here.
Bam. Plus
That's
5.
Better than
That's
my
yeah.
9. So
Okay.
So you go out into the square and you start inspecting, and there's an area where it looks as if the mortar that holds the bricks together has been like eroded somehow, and
Just for 1 second, can you write backwards?
yeah, it looks as if there's like not footholds but gaps that go off the outside wall.
Hey, check this out.
Twins.
Stick finger.
that looks like you could maybe if you were real good.
I mean, also, remember the footprints we saw. They were tiny.
Yeah.
They were teeny tiny. He doesn't need that much in terms of a footprint, if you will.
Based on
We're just trying to practice.
we met him. Based on what we saw, you think he fit?
This is an infinite struggle.
Can I do that
he
math?
did have a narrow, eely look to him.
And he had a cloak, didn't he? He had a cloak that he could wear.
Slippery.
Yeah. And wouldn't Wouldn't die jumping off a tower.
No, and with the other towers erected, they'd be watching that and not the Azorius tower that he's climbing.
Yeah.
When we met him the previous night, would you say he looked wet, slimy at all?
Yeah, he definitely looked moist.
I didn't want to say it just in case, but I was thinking it.
Looks squelchy, if you will.
All right. Well, yeah, we should probably, now that we know sort of maybe how he got up there.
Snap a couple pictures. We'll take it back. We'll show him. I'm just kidding.
We should go,
To your meeting with him?
yeah, to our
Yeah.
Okay, so describe to me how you were approaching the square.
Like we're supposed to be there.
Like I would say,
Yeah, we
did
live
take
in the area.
Like
Yeah.
a boss.
We would have to have taken a cab back.
Yeah.
So probably like on that block.
She's prancing along next to you.
Doing dressage down the side.
We get out before we get there because
Yeah, the neighbors
I mean,
know we're not supposed
we're
to.
trying to convince him that we have some money.
Although
so it
that's
wouldn't
probably
be bad for us to roll up.
True.
Is it too little time to get some cool like wheels on the cart that like spin?
I would say yes.
We're not pimping the ride.
Yeah. Also, we don't have the funds to pimp the ride.
Hey, whatever we need.
I think there's probably a limit on that.
Yeah, probably.
There's a limit on this credit card, if you will. I think we just we show up like we're supposed to be there because we are.
Yeah.
So you step out of the cart, and he's sort of languishing against a water fountain. There's an Indrik leaning down and drinking out of it.
Is it pooping?
Is it open?
Yes, it's doing that thing while it's drinking.
It's doing a
It's
poo.
making a mess. And he's
We'll have to deal with that before the party.
Yeah.
says,
I'll handle him.
I
Literally
wasn't
and
sure whether to
figuratively.
expect you to actually show up.
Why
What
would we
have you
not?
got for me?
A license. And not just for this evening. For a month.
May I see this?
Be sure not to let it out of your grasp, and not to actually to show as little of it as possible. So because he could.
Month. Well, that's certainly impressive.
We did tell you we knew a guy.
And suddenly goblins jump up all around you. And we would roll initiative now, but I think we're going to wait until next session.
Yeah, that checks out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems to fit.
So John, if you want to turn chat back on.
What's up, chat friends?
This has
Can't see you
been
yet, but soon.
episode 1 of Ravnica Rises. I believe that our friends, the investigators, did an excellent job figuring out what was going on. And I'm going to say you each gain 300 experience points from your investigations.
Nice.
And may level up before we go into our encounter at the beginning of next session.
Yeah. 300.
300.
So you're all going to be level 2 when we start our campaign next month.
My key point.
Ooh, I get some things.
I don't remember what I
So-
get.
I get some things.
Hello again, chat. We missed you. Thunder Speaks, good to see you.
And
Glad
we'll be
you're
able
here.
to do fun things.
Shenanigans within shenanigans. Yep.
Pretty much.
Accurate.
Do you guys have any observations or anything that you want to follow up on while Chad is here
Keister
before we
in
end our session for today?
I'm sorry, my character is what he is.
No, we
Your
love him.
character
We
is
love him already.
amazing. I love him.
I have never played the dumb character before.
Yeah, it was
well.
obviously a challenge for you. You
Yeah,
kept having
I'm like,
useful insight.
Well, how wise is he?
He's actually pretty wise. He can't articulate well.
It-
That's the
yeah.
problem.
It's
different.
Intelligence
Yeah.
versus wisdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Knowing tomatoes a fruit, knowing it doesn't go in a
And
fruit
a fruit
salad.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Then charisma is being able to sell it and claim it's salsa or gazpacho.
Yeah. That's really good. I like that.
So our next meeting will be, and this is just due to the fact that PAX is coming up, and we have to organize things in such a manner that we can meet in March
Pax
without
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to get 6 people together, 7 if we have John, together for a session like this. We are tentatively scheduling our next meeting for St. Patrick's Day, Sunday the 17th.
Oh, the
Which means,
17th.
alas, our chat mod will be gone because our chat mod's day job is in an Irish pub. All hands on deck. He
Oh,
will not
Lord.
be
Yeah.
here.
I can't imagine why. Is that day important?
You know.
For people who
Weird,
drink,
right?
for Irish
I
people
mean,
who drink,
I mean, who
people who
knows?
drink in Irish places.
People
Yeah.
who drink Irishly.
In the Boston area, St. Patrick's
really?
Day is an everyone holiday.
The first time I did St. Patrick's Day here, and I got to a bar at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and people were literally being carried out. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's a thing.
We don't joke around.
that doesn't happen in New York.
We are
Oh yeah,
not kidding.
Yeah.
So that's when we hope to see you again for the next episode of Ravnica Rising. I had a lot of fun running
was-
this.
Man,
This
me
was
too.
great.
Hey, blasty
this is
blast.
good
Thank
fun.
you.
I love
glad
that you
you
had
guys-
handouts too.
I love
Dude, we
handouts. I
appreciate
love when there are
that.
props.
That's adorable.
And I do want to say, don't forget that we will be, I will be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time to continue to paint my Warhammer figures. And we'll have painting streams. And Amanda, what game are we playing on Friday? It's
That's a
the
really good question.
Dexterity dungeon
Caverns.
game. Caverns.
Yeah, we're playing
So,
Caverns with
Looking
Travis's
forward
copy
to
of,
that.
of Caverns.
That's going to be pretty amazing.
And I'll probably be painting on Saturday.
Okay.
All right.
I'll probably be finishing up the Highlander figures. I have to do a little bit of research away from the stream because most of the time I can just look up reference photos, but for Castigear I need to actually take some screenshots.
Okay.
And then I can give you mine to paint.
Yes, and I'll have practice and I'll know what I'm doing.
Oh,
at
we
that
should have
point.
brought presents for Sarah. We have presents.
I
for
gave
you.
I have
presents to
presents.
Oh, you
Sarah.
gave presents
I
to
gave
Sarah.
They were
Amanda
in the-
presents too.
They were in the trunk of my car.
Present time.
So yeah.
You won the
I did. I did win the game. Although I have collected it already. I collected it
Yep.
when I was here last Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is. It is actually in the back of my car right now.
Jules was here to work on Cassia.
Yes. Work on character sheet
so,
things.
yeah.
So I took that home already.
Well, guys, that was
was a
so
good
much
time.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who joined us, everybody who's watching in the VOD and the YouTube. I encourage you to check out our Twitch channel, Battleground Games Live, twitch.tv/Battleground Games Live, which is where we do these things live. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.